The world is in chaos as monsters descend. In a world where these creatures expand their power everywhere, humans have become small and weak. Wherever the monsters go, they infect humans, multiplying faster than clones. This is a world where the core force of order is extremely unique. They all come from a psychiatric hospital. Li Da Zhuang, born with SSS-Rank power, is also one of these dangerous class order keepers. He's a disaster-level threat. When he's happy, he saves the world. When he's not, he kills for sport. One evening at a subway station, a young man gets a call from his company for urgent overtime. So he quickly moves to the waiting area. He can't stop muttering to himself, "Overtime, overtime, overtime." The world's this chaotic and I still have to work overtime, damn it. After a 10-minute wait, the train finally arrives. Seeing the massive crowd jammed in line, the young man wonders to himself, are all these people also working the brutal 9-to-9 6-day schedule? The platform is packed, and the train is even more suffocating inside. Then he sees a couple getting shamelessly cozy on the train, and the young man's eyes burn with irritation. He keeps shooting them dirty looks. So annoying. Can't they be a little more considerate in public? Forcing him to watch their PDA this late. The train announcer chimes in. The subway is now departing. The next stop is Wushan Station. Please allow passengers to exit before boarding. This just makes the crowd shove even harder. The air becomes tense and stuffy. Getting crushed, the young man can't control his emotions, blurting out, "Damn it. This is a subway, not a bullet train." Working overtime at night is seriously frustrating. The guy accidentally bumps into the couple. Realizing he ruined the mood, he scratches his head. I didn't mean to interrupt. A bone-chilling cold radiates from their direction. The guy dares a quick glance and sees a monster. Before he can even scream for help, the two monsters in human skin lunge forward to attack him. A piercing scream fills the air. Blood quickly pools across the floor. The other monsters on the train see the fresh prey and rush in to tear it apart. Everyone wants a piece of the prize. This is the 37th mental contamination incident recorded in the world so far. Everyone in the area surrounding subway line number 6 in Shi City has turned into a monster. It all started on an ordinary day 10 years ago. Without warning, countless monsters and beasts appeared in every corner of every city, large and small, all across the world. Evil spirits invaded the human world, infecting people and turning them into cannibalistic monsters. The entire world order completely collapsed. Luckily, they were there to protect the last remnants of human civilization. These warriors, called Order Keepers, are humanity's last hope. The Order Keeper team has arrived at the subway area. A man raises his hand, giving the signal, "Target is all monsters." Inside subway line number 6, clean it out. Behind him, a battle-hungry legion stands ready for the command. There are old people and young people, men and women. Regardless of age or build, they immediately charge into battle. An old woman leaps toward the monsters, shooting finger hearts. Her sweet love attack induces a symptom called delusional love. The attack seems simple, but it is anything but. One strike kills countless monsters. Nearby, a little boy suddenly bursts into tears. This attracts the monster's attention. "Wah, I'm just a harmless little mushroom," he cries. "How could you bite a mushroom?" He emits a delusional alien egg symptom, causing the monsters to swarm and bite him. Then the boy says, "Red cap, white staff. After eating, we lie down and cry." And just as planned, after biting him, every single monster becomes paralyzed. Then they collapse, vomiting, poisoned as a group. Another keeper creates a bipolar disorder symptom, making the monsters attack and kill each other. A bald man beats his chest and declares, "Today, I am the judge of this subway." That's right, a group of bizarre and reckless people are the ones protecting this chaotic world. Although their minds have certain flaws, it also means they're not easily corrupted by mental contamination and turned into monsters. In fact, due to their mental instability, when the sunspots first appeared, their unique symptoms awakened corresponding powers. Their existence prevents even more evil from descending upon the world. It's just that nobody ever expected what would happen next. The monsters invading this time are far more ferocious and calculating than before. And then, a colossal beast appears, a Haiwa Ludao Fu class. It immediately slaughters the entire squad of soldiers on the spot. After finishing them off, it contacts someone to report. The Order Keepers on line 6 have been dealt with, requesting next instructions. The voice on the other end replies instantly, "Excellent. Proceed to the Bufeng Psychiatric Hospital next. The target has been confirmed to be there. Remember, you must find that person. We need to use him to bring the great Gyamia to Earth." The scene then shifts to the Bufeng Psychiatric Hospital. The Order Keepers sent to subway line 6 have all been killed. Now, monsters swarm the hospital's main gate, their numbers growing by the second. They pile on top of each other, screaming relentlessly. Some of them desperately try to break down the gate, clearly wanting to get inside. The nurses and doctors are terrified. Some of the faint-hearted are on the verge of collapse. "Director, what do we do now? There are too many monsters. The main gate has fallen. They're inside." The monsters bring nothing but chaos with them. The director angrily slams his hand on the table, yelling, "Damn it! Why did we send the mobile team out? For so many monsters to appear now." Every single person joins the fight. They must hold the inpatient ward at all costs. They absolutely cannot let those things reach the underground control room. Hopefully, it won't come to that. Before them stands a heavily guarded room. A dense web of red lasers crisscrosses the hall, not even a fly could get through. This is the hospital's most restricted area. The iron door is locked with several layers of chains, holding an SSS-class pretender, a certified disaster-level threat. His symptoms cover everything: multiple personalities, schizophrenia, severe delusions, and intermittent depressive episodes. On an iron bed, a young man is tightly bound from head to toe, his face covered by a surgical mask. One moment he's sleeping, the next his eyes snap open, staring at the ceiling, glowing with a murderous red intent. The red alert blares non-stop. "Warning. Threat inbound. Threat inbound. Prepare for combat. Prepare for combat." Monsters pour out like a ruptured hive, swarming every corner of the hospital, leaving only slaughter in their wake. Flames paint the sky red, thick black smoke choking the air. The entire fighting force is mobilized. Patients become soldiers. The top priority is protecting the director. Some patients get creative, using anything they can grab as a weapon. One guts a monster, another takes a head with a playing card, while a third beats them down with a simple iron pipe. They stand united to kill these monsters and protect their hospital. But there are just too few pretenders left. The horde of monsters is overwhelming. Too many to kill. They are completely outnumbered. And so, the last of the pretenders weakly fight on before they too are cut down. The director stumbles back, his legs trembling in disbelief. How? How is this happening? Not even the pretenders could stop them. The monsters just keep advancing. Their faces are revealed truly disgusting, nauseating creatures. The director feels his breath catch, and he turns to run. His voice is panicked. "Quick, cover me to the control room below." He leaves the monsters to his 3 remaining guards. But their numbers are far too small. They can't stop the horde. The creatures are right on the director's heels. The situation is critical. He's cornered again. The director never thought it would come to this. His 3 pretenders have fallen. The director runs for his life toward that room. Inside, the young man has somehow already broken free of his chains. He heads into the bathroom, fiddling around with a few bottles and vials. He pours a liquid with one hand and drops red pills into the toilet with the other, muttering, 99 days in seclusion. Only one final step remains. Drink this Foundation Spirit liquid, cleanse my marrow, and I will finally achieve my Foundation establishment breakthrough. Then I can enter the inner sect. He smiles at the clear liquid in the toilet bowl, then dunks his face in for a huge gulp. Suddenly, an alarm rings out. "Warning, warning, you have entered a level M danger zone. Warning, warning." The young man looks up toward the door. Is the sect's messenger pigeon already ringing? Could the sect master be here to see me? The director yanks the door open, gasping for breath, and yells his name, Li Da Zhuang. In his delusion, the student sees the director as his sect master. He claps his hands. "Sect master, it's really you. Has the inner sect selection already begun? Is this my chance to finally join?" A wave of excitement washes over the young man. Knowing the delusion has taken hold, the director places a hand on his shoulder, acting his part. The inner sect matter can wait. Li Da Zhuang's hopeful expression vanishes instantly. "Huh? You're not here to take me to the inner sect? I thought I was finally worthy. Sect master, I won't fail you. I'll reach Foundation establishment and enter the inner sect soon." This is Li Da Zhuang, one of the 10 SSS-class pretenders in the world, who suffers from a rare multiple personality disorder. His abilities change based on his personality, some strong, some weak. His danger level can reach that of a natural disaster. His only flaw is that he gets lost in his own cultivation fantasy world, with no way to control it. Fearing he'll upset him, the director plays along. "Right now, demons from the outer realms are invading our sect. I order you to expel them all. Protect the sect, and you will be promoted to an inner sect disciple." Li Da Zhuang hesitates. "The inner sect? But I'm not even at Foundation establishment yet. How can I fight them?" Suddenly, the director collapses into his arms. The conversation cuts short. Blood splatters everywhere. Lu Daofu has arrived, striking down the director with a massive tentacle. The moment the monster sees Li Da Zhuang, A cold, triumphant smile spreads across its face. Found you. If I can successfully take him down, the great god will grant me immortality. The main character cries out in fear. A golden core outer domain demon. They got here so fast? He frantically shakes the director, pleading, "Hey, Sectmaster, stop acting. There's a real demon here. How am I supposed to win? You have to kill it. I can't beat a golden core expert." He looks like he's about to lose his mind. Lu Daofu wonders, is this kid really an SSS class pretender? Seeing the director is motionless, Li Da Zhuang lays him down. He laid the master down. While he couldn't believe he was dead, there was nothing else he could do. The young man took a breath, steeling himself. No, this isn't right. The sect master must be testing him, seeing if he has what it takes to enter the inner sect. He vowed to his master, "Don't worry, I'll put on a great show. Now, get a taste of my new technique." The young man struck a bizarre pose, then started shifting his expression from crying to laughing, sticking out his tongue, and baring his teeth. He went through at least 101 different faces. Lu Daofu just stood there completely bewildered. What was he even doing? He wasn't attacking, just making faces. This made Lu Daofu hesitate, wondering if this was some bizarre SSS rank ability he'd never seen before, and that caution gave Da Trang his opening. He stepped back, then launched a surprise attack with his rushing thunder art. It was a powerful lightning technique aimed straight at Lu Daofu's internal organs. The move was blindingly fast, giving him no time to react. A single palm strike sent Lu Daofu flying back several meters. If he hadn't slammed on the brakes, he would have been a pancake on the wall. After that one hit, Lu Daofu was paralyzed with fear. That immense electrical power truly worthy of an SSS rank enforcer. He looked up, only to be even more shocked seeing the young man shove his hand into an electrical socket. Da Trang's entire body lit up, crackling with raw electricity. Lu Daofu could only think one thing. This guy is completely insane. "Enough," he yelled. "I thought an SSS rank enforcer would be impressive, but you're just another brainless lunatic. This farce ends now. It's time to welcome my great master." As he spoke, he unleashed a flurry of tentacles. Seeing the sect master in danger, Da Trang pulled him to safety. The sect master, in his dying moments, opened his eyes. He called out Da Trang's name, entrusting the entire sect to him with his final breath. Da Trang swore he would not let his master down. He then grabbed the nearest weapon he could find, a toilet plunger, and held it like a sword. "Today, I will uphold the righteous path of this sect and destroy evil." This only confirmed Lu Daofu's suspicion that he was dealing with a psycho. He launched his tentacles, but Da Trang met them with the sweeping wave sword style. The golden light from the plunger sword sliced through the tentacles like butter. Then, he lunged forward, aiming the plunger straight at the monster. His speed was dizzying. All Lu Daofu saw was a flash before the object pierced straight through his stomach. Da Trang glanced back. "Sect Master, look, I'm about to complete the test you gave me." Lu Daofu could only sneer back. Definitely a complete psychopath. A flash of murderous intent appeared in Da Trang's eyes as he pushed with a little more force. A brilliant light shot through Lu Daofu's body. This move was called the setting sun's glow. It was over. The young man looked toward his master, waiting for praise, but the sect master could no longer speak. Da Trang sighed, knowing he'd rarely get to use that move. Too bad his master didn't see it. But at least the test was complete. He could finally enter the inner sect. But as Da Trang turned away, the severed octopus tentacles on the floor began to twitch. They slithered toward the sect master's body and crawled directly into his open wounds. Suddenly, the sect master lurched back to life. His limbs convulsed as he stood up unnaturally. The first word from his mouth was, "Da Trang." The hero turned back with a smile. "Sect master, you're awake. I didn't fail my mission. I've killed the otherworldly demon. Now I can finally enter the inner sect and train with my seniors." The sect master moved closer, leaning in to whisper in his ear with an icy voice. "Of course. Once you accept the evil god's baptism, you can become one of us." As he spoke, his hand shot out from behind, attacking without warning. Blood sprayed everywhere. It was only then that the horrified Da Trang finally realized. You're the otherworldly demon?" Lu Daofu revealed his true, grotesque form, pulling his hand from Da Trang's body. His monstrous arm, like a giant, blood-soaked blade, dripped onto the floor. The monster laughed. "Haha, I underestimated you before. To think you actually defeated my other body. Luckily, I had an escape plan ready hiding inside this worthless vessel." Da Trang collapsed to the ground. Seeing this, Lu Daofu grew even more arrogant. "If I'd known you obeyed this trash so blindly, things would have been much easier." He smirked with absolute delight. The monster had turned the sect master into a half-human, half-demon puppet. Our hero struggled back to his feet. The monster not only killed his master, but used that betrayal to land a sneak attack. This was a debt that had to be paid in blood. Da Zhuang stared at Lu Daofu with eyes burning with pure rage. You dare possess and kill my sect master. Today, this ends only when one of us is dead. To the death. He slammed one hand into the ground. His opponent was now severely injured. Lu Daofu quickly circled behind him, his fear starting to fade. He spoke with renewed confidence. All right then. I'll let you see my true power. As he finished his words, he swung his right hand to attack. But unexpectedly, Da Zhuang raised a single index finger, and a black aura flared to life. The finger began to glow a brilliant gold. Lu Daofu pressed his attack, mocking him. You really think that pathetic finger can oppose the army-crushing power gifted to me by the evil god? The two clashed in a battle of epic proportions. One side attacks with lightning speed, the other counters in a flash. Wherever Da Zhuang points, Lu Daofu's attacks are instantly neutralized. Up and down, back and forth, the two are locked in a brutal, even-matched stalemate. Lu Daofu decides to end this, throwing a massive punch that connects squarely with his opponent's face, sending Da Zhuang flying. The impact carves a meter-deep trench in the ground. Boom! Da Zhuang slams into the wall, which instantly spiders with cracks. A chip blares an alert. Warning, warning, SSS-class patient has escaped containment. Blood spills from Da Zhuang's mouth, soaking his shirt. The fight seems over. Lu Daofu stalks closer, victorious, saying, Li Da Zhuang, it ends now. But the red chip flashes again. Warning, warning, the SSS-class patient has escaped his cell. The alert blares again and again as a brilliant yellow light flashes, spreading the alarm to the outside. Outside, the other orderlies are fighting a desperate battle against monsters. Elle unleashes her wolf form fist, while Momo deploys a protective barrier. The alarm breaks Elle's focus. Sister Mo, that's the alert for an SSS-class orderly being attacked. Our medical center actually has an SSS-class orderly? Momo nods grimly. Yes, we've always kept one hidden here. The thing is, he's incredibly hard to control. The SSS-class orderly is getting out. For a moment, they think they're about to be saved, but then bam! Elle, Momo, and the werewolf are hit by a sudden attack, getting trapped in the shattered earth. Elle chokes on dust as a taunting voice echoes, Ha ha, I've even killed your SSS-class guardian. Who in this world can stand against me now? Lu Daofu has ascended to a blasphemous level, his grotesque form towering like a mountain. The news is a crushing blow. Elle stammers in fear. Sister Momo, even the SSS-class orderly is. Momo is just as stunned. How is that possible? The monster lashes out, shooting gruesome red tentacles toward them. He's hell-bent on wiping out every last one of them. I will erase all you insane, worthless trash. Lu Daofu roars. To welcome my great and terrible god. Elle takes a direct hit and collapses, and Momo screams out her name. Lu Daofu turns on Momo. Die, you freaks! As she runs, a blinding streak of light slashes the air in front of her. The light hits Lu Daofu, dismembering him. It shears off an arm and severs all of his writhing tentacles in an instant. A shower of blood erupts, staining Momo's clothes. Who dares disturb my peace? Lu Daofu bellows in rage. Who is ambushing me? For a second, he wonders. Could it be Li Da Zhuang? No, impossible. I killed him myself. A black vortex swirls into existence, the light within forming a cross. Lu Daofu can only stare, completely baffled. The vortex intensifies, unleashing crackling lightning and a massive blue sword that skewers Lu Daofu before he can even blink. It tears straight through his vital organs. The monster dies with his eyes wide open, utterly and completely defeated. With one final, agonized roar, he's torn to absolute shreds. And then, a figure descends from the sky. He's dressed in the ancient robes of a master, striding forward with an aura that is anything but ordinary. This is on another level. Momo, Elle, and the werewolf are completely stunned. Momo thinks he's the SSS-class guardian, but Elle isn't so sure. The werewolf can only gawk at his incredible style. The few remaining monsters crawl forward, snarling and hissing. The man points to the sky. Those who disturb my peace, he declares, will be struck down by the heavens. He aims 2 fingers down, and lightning descends with earth-shattering power. It completely vaporizes the monsters, leaving a 10-meter deep crater and thick, billowing smoke in its wake. Once the dust settles, the man clasps his hands behind his back and says, Junior brother Li Da Zhuang should cultivate diligently to protect the sect. This is Li Da Zhuang, but a completely different version, his sword immortal persona. As he stands there riding the wind, Everyone below is simply mesmerized. So that's the SSS class guardian, a one-shot kill. A young man in the crowd can't contain his excitement. Staring up at his new idol, he shouts, "So cool." Li Da Zhuang glances down, and a bolt of lightning strikes that exact spot. Momo yanks the kid to safety just in time, yelling, "Stop fangirling and move." Then, lightning begins raining down. The kid cries out, "What's happening? Why is it striking our side now?" Momo warns them urgently, "This is bad. I think he's lost control." She summons all her strength to create a protective shield. An SSS-class orderly's power is a catastrophe-level event, capable of destroying the very Earth. Their danger level is as high as any monster's. One survivor buries his face in his hands. "It's over. We're doomed. We just escaped a wolf's den to fall into a tiger's mouth." Thunderous bolts of lightning crash down all around them, striking randomly and without mercy. Da Zhuang realizes he's lost control of his own power. He pulls his hands back, channeling a powerful yellow aura. He gathers all the stray lightning, the only way to stop it from incinerating his allies. With 2 fingers, he spins the chaotic energy, focusing it to a single point. He thinks to himself, "I never expected to have alchemist Qi Fushuan's earth-smelting pill." He was using lightning to forge a golden core. The audience below was stunned, wondering what kind of insane ability this even was. Why had they never seen this before? In a flash, before an incense stick could burn down, the golden core was done. Da Zhuang wondered when he would escape this lightning curse, then took the golden core and swallowed it whole. After swallowing the core, Da Zhuang leveled up again, now a world-shaking sword immortal. His body acted like a lightning rod, absorbing every last bolt until they vanished. The dark clouds parted, and the thunder disappeared. Everyone cheered with relief. The blue-haired guy approached Da Zhuang to get friendly, calling out, "Big brother no, SSS-Rank guardian." Da Zhuang reverted to his normal self and asked coldly, "What is it?" Gone was the divine guardian from moments before. The idol's image instantly shattered. Da Zhuang's current appearance was like a direct punch to the young man's face. His jaw dropped in disappointment. "Hey, why don't you look like you did when you were killing all those monsters?" "Ah, and you look terrible. Am I hallucinating?" Elle stared at Da Zhuang before clarifying, "But my brain isn't sick, it's just my body that mutates." On his chest was the nameplate of an SSS rank order keeper. The main character then bowed respectfully, his hands clasped, saying, "Thank you, senior brother, for your help. I will train hard to catch up." Everyone just stared at each other, completely lost. Cultivation? Sword immortal? What was all that? Then Da Zhuang continued, "It's a shame I couldn't fulfill the sect master's wish and protect our sect." The purple-haired guy scratched his head. What the heck is a sect? Everything the main character said sounded like complete nonsense, like lines from some ancient historical drama. Suddenly, Da Zhuang's finger began to glow, and a strange voice announced, "Activating mission." A screen materialized right in front of him. A tiny figure on it spoke to Da Zhuang. "Host, activating main mission. Sect annihilation scenario. Main mission activated. Revitalize the sect." It was an invisible cultivation system. Da Zhuang leaped for joy, absolutely ecstatic. "I can't believe it. I got the main character script." He just kept laughing and talking to himself like a lunatic. But to Elle, this was completely normal. After all, who else but crazy people ends up in a psychiatric hospital? Momo explained, "I've seen his medical records. Li Da Zhuang has multiple personalities. The person we just saw was likely one of his more powerful ones. So this is another personality now." The purple-haired guy shrugged, meaning the guy in front of us is just a regular mental patient. He sighed. And here I was, hoping I could follow a powerful boss around and conquer everything. Well, the hospital's destroyed and no one's watching us anymore. We'll just have to look out for ourselves. Elle turned to Momo, saying, "Sister Momo, maybe we should leave too? This SSS rank order keeper? I'm kind of scared." Momo nodded. The system told Da Zhuang, "Below are the host's assigned missions. As they say, to get rich, you first plant a tree, and for that, you need a mountain." The main character nodded along. "I get it. First, find a mountain, plant some trees, and get rich." The system immediately corrected him. "Wrong. You find a mountain and take over someone else's sect for yourself." Da Zhuang thought he misheard and began to argue. "What? Are you insane? Why do I need to steal someone else's turf to rebuild my own sect?" But this was the shortcut the system provided. After all, revitalizing the sect was a task that couldn't wait. Da Zhuang finally understood. He then called out to the other 3. "Senior brothers. Junior brother. Junior sister." Seeing the 3 ignore him, he bolted after them, shouting, "Senior brother, senior sister, wait up." Now that the sect master is gone, the path to restoring our sect falls to us. We will definitely drive all the outer-worldly heavenly demons from this land. But his insane words didn't seem to interest anyone. The blue-haired guy glanced at him and said, "What nonsense are you talking now? Don't think I don't know that the big shot from before is already gone. You can't do a thing to us now." Hearing that, Da Zhuang's cheerful expression instantly turned dark. He glared, asking, "Is that so?" The immense pressure rooted the blue-haired young man right to the spot. It was only then that he realized this personality of Li Da Zhuang was also a world-ending, disaster-class being. Worse, Da Zhuang's personality flipped in an instant. Rejected, his eyes filled with killing intent. "If you won't help me restore the sect, then you are traitors, and must be punished. Thunder-seeking art." With a single phrase, he summoned a raging storm. The blue-haired guy stared at the sky and yelled, "Not you, big brother. You really came back?" He immediately dropped to his knees, begging, "I was wrong. I'll go with you." Momo quickly raised her hand. "We'll go with you too." Da Zhuang canceled the technique, sealing the deal. After that show of force, the blue-haired guy was utterly terrified. His attitude towards Da Zhuang did a complete 180, and he started calling him big brother. Da Zhuang was secretly pleased, but also felt a little guilty. "Sorry, senior brother," Da Zhuang thought. "I had to borrow your reputation for a bit." Luckily, he'd actually learned the thunder-guiding art from his master. "Otherwise we'll blow our cover, heh." Li Da Zhuang patted his new disciple's head. "Don't be afraid. I'll teach you all the techniques my senior brother and sect master taught me." The blue-haired young man's face lit up instantly. His excitement returned in a flash. Maybe he too could become a catastrophe-level powerhouse, fearing nothing in heaven or on earth, just like Li Da Zhuang. Elle turned to Momo, bewildered. "Are we seriously going with Li Da Zhuang?" Momo nodded. "Yeah. There are still too many monsters out there, and people like us are their main target. Li Da Zhuang might be unstable, but he's a triple S-class enforcer. Right now, he's the only one who can protect us." And just like that, from that moment on, they were a team. Da Zhuang excitedly raised his hand. "My fellow disciples, for the glorious goal of saving our sect, charge forward." And so, the entire team rushed onward, pressing ahead without any real destination in mind. The adventure had officially begun. In a dead city shrouded in oppressive darkness, a monster appeared. It used its colossal tentacles to smash everything in sight, trapping the last few survivors before opening its maw and unleashing a red, flood-like liquid. A hoarse voice cackled, "Heh, accept the blessing of the berserker faithful." Cries for help were quickly choked out by despair. Anyone touched by the monster's blood was instantly consumed, transforming into another creature. The boss monster revealed its true form, spitting fire that incinerated houses and anything else standing in its way. "Useless minions," it growled. "Can't even catch a few lunatics. I guess I'll have to personally welcome the Dark God's arrival myself." Li Da Zhuang led his group of 4, and as they marched, he and his new teammates chanted loudly in unison. "To restore the sect is our duty. We'll start by taking a mountain, beginning with me." Elle asked, "Where are you taking us?" He just smiled. "The first step to restoring the sect is to gather 4 elements: land, law, wealth, and companions. You can't miss a single one. We already have companions, that's all of you, my sect brothers and sisters. Next, we find a suitable location to rebuild the Zioba sect. Just a moment ago, on this mountain road, I saw a talisman left behind by an immortal. There must be a hidden sect up ahead. The talisman says South Sealand, which is our target." Elle was genuinely worried. What mountain road and talisman? It was clearly a railroad track and a traffic sign. She glanced at Momo. "Are you sure following him is the right choice?" Momo recognized the problem, but for the moment, they had no other choice. She replied, "Once we reach a safe zone, we'll figure out how to call the organization for help." Monsters had been stalking them the whole time. As the 4 entered a deserted area, they ambushed them. Da Zhuang casually used a toilet plunger as a sword while the other guy grabbed a broom for a spear. Li Da Zhuang shouted, "Vile demon, die!" He swung his hand to the left, and a single palm strike completely obliterated the monster. A swing to the right, and he helped his comrade take down 2 more monsters attacking from behind. The monsters were pathetically weak. All of them were dead in under 2 moves. The blue-haired man grinned. "Awesome, bro. With you here, we're totally invincible." But something green was silently creeping up behind him. It launched a surprise attack, sending his teammate flying straight into the air. The monster revealed itself a female creature covered in thorny tentacles, and this one looked like a real problem. A few moments later, Da Zhuang and Momo were captured, finding themselves tangled up and bound tightly together. The embarrassing situation made Momo blush furiously. So, Invincible Da Zhuang, she asked. Care to explain this? Da Zhuang struggled for an answer. Something unexpected happened. Even he hadn't been able to control it. The werewolf dodged left and then right, but the monster's attacks came from all sides, leaving him overwhelmed. Finally, completely exhausted, he cried out to Li Da Zhuang for help. I can't hold on anymore. Everyone, get over here and help. Momo asked impatiently. Where's that ridiculously powerful technique of yours? He shook his head. Oh, you mean my senior brother? I have no idea where he went. Only L was left on the ground below as the monster slowly crept toward her. Terrified, she stuttered. No, don't come over here. Momo cried out her name in panic. But Da Zhuang quickly calmed her. Don't worry, senior sister. The sect master taught me the thunder calling art. I can fight this demon. He raised his hand and pointed. You otherworldly demon! What kind of skill does it take to bully my sect sister? If you have any guts, come after me. The female monster glared at him. Fine, I'll grant your wish. She released the other two, then wrapped her tentacles around Da Zhuang's neck and lifted him up to get a good look at this insolent fool. He just cackled. Heh, you ugly thing. You fell for it. Before the monster could process what was happening, a bolt of lightning struck down. Da Zhuang pointed to the sky, yelling, Thunder calling art! Slay the demon! The creature shrieked, thinking it was about to die. But then it realized the lightning bolt felt like nothing more than a tiny pinprick on its skin. After being scared half to death over nothing, the monster's face darkened, its whole body shaking with absolute rage. Da Zhuang forced a smile. Whoops, my skills are a bit unrefined. The thunder calling art I summoned isn't as good as my senior brother's version. Momo shook her head. That was just an ordinary lightning strike, basically scratching an itch for the monster. Feeling utterly humiliated, the beast went berserk. The beast hurls the main character around, beating him relentlessly. Momo leaps forward to intervene, while Da Zhuang scrambles out from behind. The werewolf grabs L, yelling that the monster has gone berserk. Its tentacles are thrashing wildly in every direction, completely out of control. Da Zhuang lunges for his sword next to a plunger, roaring with pure fury. You hurt my comrade. I, Da Zhuang, will never let you get away with this. He unleashes his ultimate technique, the wave sect ambush. The blade zigzags through the air before piercing straight through the female monster. And with a single gesture from Da Zhuang, the monster's entire body just explodes. The werewolf throws up a hand, impressed. Brother, you are seriously powerful. We killed it! The main character laughs, completely satisfied. But Momo gets a weird, uneasy feeling, wondering if it was really that simple. And just as she suspected, her intuition was dead on. The monster suddenly rears up and attacks them all over again. Razor-sharp tentacles erupt from the ground without any warning. Out of the four of them, only Momo manages to leap clear in time. Da Zhuang spots L trapped in the tendrils. He swings his sword to free her, but another tentacle whips out and binds both his arms tight. The female monster reappears right behind them, cackling with glee. Seeing Da Zhuang in danger, Momo flicks her hand, commanding her purple fire to save him. The small flame on her shoulder shoots forward like a whirlwind. What starts as a flicker quickly erupts, completely surrounding the monster in a cage of fire. The surprise attack catches the creature completely off guard. It thrashes around in agony, desperately trying and failing to put out the flames. Finally, it has no choice but to release Da Zhuang. He gets a strange feeling and then hears a faint giggle coming from inside the flames. This is no ordinary fire, it seems to have a mind of its own. The flames grow stronger, scorching the female monster's flesh. It's hot, it stings. The feeling of her body charring to a crisp. A slow, gut-wrenching pain as she is incinerated from the inside out. Its tentacles thrash about wildly in its death throes, accidentally launching the main character into the air before flinging him out of the fight. The monster's face contorts in pure agony. With its last breath, it opens its mouth for one final chilling scream. You will all die. And just like that, boom, the female monster explodes. Da Zhuang barely manages to escape the blast after finishing off the beast. Momo gently strokes the little purple flame on her shoulder, whispering, "Thank you for today." Suddenly, Da Zhuang's hand shoots up from below. He pushes aside some rubble and pulls himself onto solid ground. The second he sees the purple flame, he says it. That is a demon. Momo thinks he's just spouting nonsense and urges him on. What are you talking about? Get up and help me find L and Quan Mao. Da Zhuang shoots to his feet, radiating pure fury, and insists, that thing is a demon from a forbidden path. The main character's eyes fill with killing intent. staring at the little flame like a predator. Then without a word, he lunges forward, aiming a punch straight at Momo. Da Zhuang unleashes a body-tempering disciple's technique with a single word: kill. Mo leaps back, frantically shouting, "What do you think you're doing?" The ground explodes where she just stood. A direct hit from that would have been an instant kill. Momo thinks to herself, why is he attacking me? Could it be? Has his other personality taken over? Her suspicion, it turns out, was right on the money. The Da Zhuang standing before her isn't the clueless fool she knows. He's lucid, his expression strangely serious. You're a normal human. I won't hurt you, but that flame demon at your side must be completely destroyed. Then, the main character charges forward once more. The little flame on Momo's shoulder immediately flares up in self-defense. Then it lets out a little giggle and shoots straight towards Da Zhuang. The flame coils around his arm, aiming right for his face, ready to burn him. Momo panics, yelling out, "Don't hurt him! He's sick. He's not a bad person." The purple fire engulfs him, but the main character isn't scared in the slightest. His voice is completely calm. I walk the righteous path of cultivation. How could a mere demon possibly harm me? For a second, it looks like he's trapped by the flames. But then he channels his power, shattering the fiery prison. One wave, and the fire vanishes. The remaining flicker of fire rushes toward Da Zhuang again. Mo, stuck in the middle, desperately tries to warn it off. Don't. Come back. He's a catastrophe-class opponent. Seeing it charge, Da Zhuang claps his hands together. He chants a spell, creating 5 massive pillars that instantly imprison the little fire spirit. The purple flame struggles, but can't break free, left helpless. Da Zhuang rotates his hands, circulating energy. This fire demon, he muses, is actually quite interesting. But what a shame. The 5 elements have their counters. My 5 elements earth style is the perfect nemesis for your kind. He calls out his next move. Earth-slaying command. Rocks fly into the air, merging into a massive slab poised to crush the tiny flame. The situation is critical. Momo throws herself in front of the attack, begging, Li Da Zhuang, you have to calm down. She's not a demon. She's my. But Da Zhuang doesn't care. He's determined to see the fire demon die, unleashing his earth spirit art to finish it off. Just as everything hangs by a thread, Momo unleashes her own power to protect her little sister. The 2 former allies now face off. Right at that moment, Da Zhuang's mind clears. He realizes he's fighting his senior sister and looks completely lost. Huh? Senior sister? Oof, you're hitting the wrong guy. But his realization comes a second too late. He takes a direct hit that nearly blows him apart. Da Zhuang falls backward, clutching his face in pain. Man, that body-tempering personality is something else, he whines. Why does he just attack without thinking? Making me take a beating for him. The little flame spirit trembles behind Momo, letting out tiny, choked sobs. She gently reassures it. Don't be scared. It's all okay now. Elle and Curly crawl out from the rubble, gasping for air. Seeing Momo, Curly grins in relief, saying they finally made it to the top. He grumbles that he had just managed to open his panel when an earthquake forced him to start all over again. Elle looks at Momo with a frown, asking, Senior Momo, are you all right? Why do you have so many injuries? Momo nervously scratches her head, brushing it off as a minor accident. Deep down, she now realizes Li Da Zhuang is far more dangerous than she ever thought, and she has no clue when his other personalities might decide to show up. She's going to have to be way more careful from now on. Meanwhile, our main character is cackling over his mission rewards notification. Da Zhuang's finger lights up as the system announces he's successfully wiped out a demon squad with his senior sister, earning 2 marrow cleansing fluids and 2 essence recovery pills. His smile immediately vanishes. Complete and utter disappointment. He scoffs, Is that it? You're so stingy. But the system wasn't done yet. The main event was still to come. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the ancient manual. How can you not go mad waking up at 8 a.m., which can help him master the peerless true chi technique. The system adds that this is the long-lost ancient fire control manual, missing for many years. Da Zhuang clutches the manual, nearly in tears with joy. He shoves it toward Momo, yelling, Senior sister, I got the ancient fire control manual. That fire beast you used was amazing. You must have some secrets for training it. You have to teach me. Momo gets curious and glances at the book's title. It's clearly a manual on fire, safety, and prevention. What fire control manual? What nonsense is he spouting this time? But seeing how excited he is, she can't bring herself to just shut him down. To avoid any trouble, Momo figures it's best to stabilize him first. Momo chooses her words carefully. It's not safe here. I'll teach you when we get to a secure place. Da Zhuang thinks that makes perfect sense and nods. Right, no time to waste. Let's hurry to the South Sea sect. The young man sticks close behind Momo, grinning from ear to ear. Heh, I'm going to be your most loyal junior brother ever. Curly gets swept up in the mood, cheering the team on as they charge forward. They accidentally drop a badge for the South Sea station. Long after Momo's group has left, a hand picks the badge up from the ground. A four-eyed monster looks up at its companion. My lord, should we continue to pursue them? The boss clenches his fist and replies, no need. The South Sea will become their tomb. Da Zhuang's group marches on, making a huge racket. Yeah, evil demons scatter. And then another chant. The Zaoba sect will never go crazy. They cover a lot of ground, with Momo cautiously scanning her surroundings the whole time. But something feels strange. This world is crawling with beasts, yet they've traveled this whole way without running into a single shred of danger. Momo thinks she might be overthinking it, but she can't shake the uneasy feeling in her gut. Elle points ahead and asks, Senior Momo, is that the safe zone up there? The safe zone is a temporary, unofficial survival station, spontaneously created by people after the invasion of the evil god organization. Its main function is to shelter survivors, giving them a place to stay and offering at least some level of defense against the monsters. Seeing four strangers outside the gate, a guard on the wall yells down, Halt, who are you and what's your business here? One of the guards takes a closer look at their clothes and says, Wait a minute. Look at their uniforms, they look like patient gowns from the hospital. Go get Mr. Zhao, quickly. Da Zhuang holds up a spoon, watching the direction it's pointing like a compass, and muttering some chant about finding treasure in the mountains. Momo glances back at the scene and just shakes her head. What is he doing now? Whatever, at least they're safe for now, and maybe she can find a chance to get away from the dangerous Li Da Zhuang. Just then, Zhao Hu, the man in charge, arrives. He raises his binoculars, scanning the four of them one by one. He freezes when he sees an ID card. Zaoba Nayu Bufeng Medical Institute. Name, Momo, attending doctor. Zhao Hu is absolutely certain. They're really orderlies. He rushes down the stairs to open the gate himself for Momo's group. Zhao Hu says breathlessly, Welcome. I never thought I'd see a living orderly again. This is great. I am Zhao Hu, the one in charge of the South Sea safe zone. Momo politely responds, Hello, Mr. Zhao. We are orderlies from the Zaoba Nayu Bufeng Medical Institute. The hospital has been overrun by monsters. As of now, we have nowhere else to go. We were hoping the South Sea safe zone could take us in. Zhao Hu smiles warmly. What are you talking about? If we can add more orderlies, our safety and defenses will be that much more secure. Please, come in. Momo and Elle head inside. But Curly sees Da Zhuang just standing there frozen and grabs his shirt. What are you doing, bro? Let's move. Inside, countless refugees are lying exhausted along the roadside. As they walk, Zhao Hu explains, We have food and water for everyone's immediate needs here. Enough to survive. Food is handed out at 10 every morning. But he explains that because they're special, they'll get their own private section, walled off from the regular survivors. Suddenly, a young man screams out. Elle flinches in terror, clinging tightly to Momo's arm. Momo had noticed the tense atmosphere too. She cuts straight to the point, Mr. Zhao. She points out that the survivors here aren't just physically weak, their mental state seems completely shattered. Zhao Hu lets out a heavy sigh. He admits that just a few days ago, the South Sea Station was hit by an unprecedented attack where countless people died. The few who were lucky enough to survive are now absolutely terrified out of their minds. And he's got a point in a world like this. PTSD is the new normal. Just then, a commotion. Momo immediately shields Elle. Turns out, it's just Li Da Zhuang, causing a ruckus with a shovel. Zhao Hu just laughs at the sight. I've heard rumors about these special order keepers, he smirks. Your friend here is truly one of a kind. Momo is about to explain they're just traveling together. But before she can, Curly runs over to join the chaos. He sees Da Zhuang scraping the ground with his shovel and asks, Brother, what are you doing? Searching for a sacred artifact to rebuild our sect. These guys are giving Momo a massive headache with their bizarre delusions. But Da Zhuang thinks Curly is making perfect sense. Da Zhuang grins back. Senior brother, your perception is sharp indeed. Since we entered this South Sea sect, I haven't sensed a single sacred treasure. They must have been hidden by the locals, he declares confidently. Luckily, I've got strength left. Just watch me dig something up. Curly gives him a thumbs up. All right, I'll be waiting eagerly. Fired up by the encouragement, Da Zhuang starts digging like a man possessed. Zhao Hu is clearly not pleased. He turns to Momo, saying, I understand his condition, but this is a safe zone with normal people. If you keep destroying our property, I'll have no choice but to ask you to leave. Momo immediately tries to de-escalate the situation. He's just traumatized from everything that's happened, she explains. He doesn't mean any harm, but Zhao Hu isn't having it. The man's chaos is bad for morale, and he can't risk it spreading to the other survivors. Momo sighs, promising to watch him. She asks Zhao Hu to lead Elle and Curly to their quarters, then approaches Da Zhuang. Li Da Zhuang, that's enough. Our job is to protect these people, she says firmly, not to cause them even more trouble. He stops digging, his expression dead serious. Senior sister, you're just in time. Please, listen to my report. Something is wrong with this place. Even though this South Sea sect appears prosperous, I can't feel the spiritual energy a true cultivator should have. The earthly fortune of a sect, the divine essence from treasures. I sense absolutely nothing, so they must be hiding a secret treasure vault with a concealment spell. This knowledge is vital to our sects, and I will find it. Listening to him ramble on, shovel in hand, Momo just holds up a hand and says, "Oh, well, you take your time with that. I have to go." She figures the camp's modern facilities are just getting scrambled up in his chaotic cultivation fantasies. She turns to walk away, ready to ignore him, but nope, not happening. Da Zhuang suddenly grabs her wrist. "Wait, senior sister. Your power is immense. My skills are lacking, so to find this treasure, I'll need your help." Before Momo can even react, he's dragging her away. They pass through a doorway, and Da Zhuang shouts, "Ah, I can feel it. The spiritual energy is overflowing. It must be in there." "Wait!" Momo yells. "It's dangerous out there. Don't just run off." As she crosses the threshold, she feels a strange shimmer, like walking through a barrier. Da Zhuang picks up the pace, pulling Momo along. "Hurry, senior sister," he urges. "The ancestor of the Sweep 8 sect will guide us." He drags Momo to a bizarrely serene, clearing a place he claims is overflowing with powerful spiritual energy. The spiritual energy is immense. "I knew it," he declares. "This is the perfect sacred ground to rebuild our sect." Spotting a glowing, bell-shaped object on a monument, Da Zhuang points excitedly. "See? I knew they were hiding a sacred artifact here. Just by touching it," he gasps. "I can feel the incredible spiritual power surging within." Da Zhuang lifts the object, clutching it like a priceless treasure. Momo, completely confused, just asks, "Li Da Zhuang, what are you doing now?" He just cackles. "Senior sister, behold this sacred artifact." But the thing he's holding is just a car battery. Momo spots a piece of torn fabric on the ground. "Forget that for a second. Look at this piece of clothing. I think the people who lived here, they were attacked by monsters." And just then, a bullet zips right between them. Momo and Da Zhuang whip their heads towards the door. "Who's there?" Sneaking around in the shadows. A terrified young man appears, his gun shaking. "Who are you people? How did you get in here?" Momo finds this very strange. The entire South Sea station fell, so how is there a survivor hiding out here, in a residential area far outside the safe zone? Seeing the stranger refuse to move, the man's patience wore thin. "Get out of my house now, or I won't be so polite." Suddenly, Da Zhuang's eyes lit up, his attitude doing a complete 180. "Wow, so you're the guardian spirit of this blessed land." He immediately bowed low, speaking with utmost sincerity. "Senior, my apologies. This junior, Li Da Zhuang, carries the heavy burden of rebuilding his sect, and came to your sacred ground seeking a heavenly artifact." The man with the gun was completely baffled by his crazy talk. What kind of joke is this? Da Zhuang looked up with a confident smile. This junior knows he can't just take the artifact so easily. "So, no matter what kind of test you give me, I will give it my all until you are satisfied." The young man grew more and more confused, having no idea what he was talking about. He asked blankly, "Are you feeling okay?" Momo turned away in embarrassment, shocked he'd guessed their intentions so quickly. Just then, a 3-year-old boy ran in asking, "Daddy, what game are you all playing?" The man spoke gently. "Good boy, go back inside for now. Daddy is dealing with some bad people." The boy pointed at Da Zhuang, tugging on his father's shirt. "But he was saying such cool things just now. I want to play too." Seeing the child, Da Zhuang's mind raced. "A divine child, I see. So the first trial begins with him?" The little boy got even more excited hearing our hero's words. Momo quickly raised her hands, saying, "Don't worry, we're peacekeepers. We only barged in to check this area for survivors. We don't mean any harm at all." The man carefully examined the badge on her coat and breathed a sigh of relief. "Phew, I thought you two were infected as well." Momo was taken aback. "As well? You mean there are infected people here?" The man nodded. "Yes, a few of them. They usually disguise themselves as humans to gain your trust, then wait until nightfall to come and eat people. We don't even dare to go outside." Could this be the reason they never made it to the safe zone? The little boy ran over and took their hands with an innocent look. Big brother, big sister, come play with me. Seeing his son like this, the man couldn't bear to disappoint him. He turned to Momo, saying, "My son seems to really like you two. Could you play with him for a bit? Since the world changed, I've rarely seen him smile like this. Don't worry, he won't treat you unfairly. I'll go get some supplies for you to take with you." Momo was about to refuse, but the little boy pulled her along insistently. The boy led Momo and Da Zhuang upstairs. Our hero's face beamed with joy. "I am ready to accept the trial of the divine child." After reaching the second floor, the three of them sat down, facing each other. Da Zhuang eagerly asked, "Divine child, what is your test?" Mo, sitting beside him, added, "Little friend, what do you want to play?" Her serious attitude didn't sit well with the boy. He stuck his tongue out at her. "Lame, you talk so boringly. It's more fun with Big Brother." He then turned to Da Zhuang, took out a box, and offered it to him. "Big Brother, open this, and play with me." Da Zhuang took the box, exclaiming, "Oh, is this some kind of puzzle box? In that case, this box must be sealed with a forbidden spell, making it very hard to open." The boy's smile widened. Da Zhuang pried at the lock, and when the lid opened, he was stunned. "What is this?" The little boy let out a strange laugh. Hey, let's play." Turns out this kid was using a forbidden item. Inside the box was a white skull. As it looked up, its eyes held a terrifying gleam as it said, "Let's play." The boy's tongue shot out to an insane length, snapping towards Da Zhuang in an instant. The young man dodged back as Momo threw up a wall of fire, warning him to be careful. Just as he narrowly escaped, the man from before appeared on the stairs. He aimed his gun straight at Da Zhuang and fired. Luckily, Da Zhuang was nimble enough to dodge the fatal blow in the nick of time. The skull from the box tumbled out, and a stream of energy flowed into the gunman. He began to sway, as if seeing an illusion. Momo used her fire to keep the boy at bay. Just as she suspected, something was seriously wrong here. It seems the infected monsters they mentioned were these two all along. The kid burst out laughing. "Ha, you found us in our game of hide and seek. Well then, now it's my turn to catch you." Tentacles began sprouting from the boy's neck, his face twisting into a sinister grin. The monster revealed its true form, its huge tentacles wrapping around Momo. Da Zhuang raised his hands and yelled, True martial fire control," but absolutely nothing happened. The monster glared at him, then whipped a tentacle at him from behind with incredible force. Da Zhuang was devastated. "Damn, my training isn't good enough." He was slammed hard against the wall before collapsing to the floor. Momo was now being relentlessly attacked by the monster's limbs. Da Zhuang yelled in a panic, "Senior sister, quick, teach me the fire control art." Momo commanded her fire spirit to help him, but it didn't budge. Momo pleaded again, "I know you don't want to, but this is an emergency." Momo nearly took a fatal hit from the creature. She struggled, unable to do anything against them. Damn it, this monster's tentacles are too hard to deal with. Meanwhile, another tentacle coiled tightly around Da Zhuang, lifting him toward its massive mouth, ready to crush him. Momo rushed to save him, screaming out his name, Li Da Zhuang. Momo blasts the monster with fire, but its tentacles block the attack effortlessly. It seems this thing is completely immune to flames. "Helpless," she screams. "Damn it, let him go." Da Zhuang remembers the key to the fire control art. Clear your mind. Focus everything into one point. While falling straight into the monster's mouth, Da Zhuang just smiles. He points both hands into the gaping maw and shouts, "Right now!" Focusing all his power, he unleashes the pinnacle of the fire control art. A torrent of flames erupts from his hands, striking the monster's weak spot. The creature is critically wounded. While it's writhing in agony, Da Zhuang leaps with incredible speed over to Momo. "Senior sister, now!" Momo launches her own fire attack. Controlled by the flames, the monster roars and thrashes about. Finally, they can actually burn it. Da Zhuang smirks. "Ha, your evil tentacles couldn't be cut, so I let you catch me on purpose." A breakthrough from the inside. He combined the fire control and lightning guidance arts to send the beast straight to hell. Momo smiles at him, her expression completely changed. After seeing that, she realizes this guy might actually be pretty smart. Before, she thought he was just a troublemaker. With the monster defeated, Da Zhuang raises his hands for a celebratory high five. "Senior sister, our teamwork was flawless. Let's celebrate." But Momo takes a few steps back. "We can celebrate later. This place isn't safe. We need to leave first." Seeing she's right, Da Zhuang runs to grab the heavenly grade artifact. But just as they're about to leave, Jiao Hu shows up with a few others. He sounds panicked. Is everyone all right? Our hero turns and asks, Mr. Zhao, what are you doing here? Zhao Hu doesn't answer right away. His eyes dart to the side, spotting the monster's corpse as he explains. We heard a commotion and thought it was a monster attack, so we came to investigate. Did you guys kill that thing? Da Zhuang holds up the artifact, showing off his prize. Of course. We passed the test and got the non-high-sex weapon. Momo stands beside him and adds, we just encountered a monster that can shapeshift into a human. The two men with Zhao Hu look terrified. A monster that can turn into a person? This is bad. We might run into humans who are actually monsters in disguise. Zhao Hu says seriously, it's dangerous everywhere outside the walls now. We'll be safer back in the safe zone. Even though you two are order keepers, you can't just run around like this. And this, too. He points to the electric lamp and then snatches it, catching Da Zhuang completely by surprise. This could be a monster communication device. It has to be taken back to the safe zone and put in designated storage for dangerous items. Da Zhuang is furious that his treasure was stolen. Hey, what do you think you're doing? I worked hard to get that artifact. Fearing he'll cause trouble, Momo quickly grabs his hand to calm him down. They're just keeping it safe for you, don't worry. But Da Zhuang is still not happy. And the look in Zhao Hu's eyes as he turns away is strange. To distract him from the artifact, Momo changes the subject. Don't you want to learn the fire control art? When we get back to the safe zone, I'll teach you. That hits the spot. The young man's mood brightens instantly, and he forgets all about the stolen item. And so, they head back together. Late at night, the safe zone is unusually quiet. Da Zhuang is fast asleep in his bed, snoring loudly. Everyone in the safe zone drank a calming tea and has fallen into a deep sleep. Turns out, this was all part of a plan. Zhao Hu takes the lamp and places it on some kind of device. The lost spiritual extraction machine was apparently found by a wandering infected, and luckily, fate had Da Zhuang bring it right back to him. A red light from the lamp quickly envelops the entire safe zone. It becomes a completely sealed space, no one in, no one out. Human spiritual power is one of the greatest offerings, after all, and the spiritual power of an order keeper is even stronger. Today, he'll definitely gather enough for the ritual. Zhao Hu activates the program to drain everyone's spiritual energy, including Momo and the other order keepers. They're so deep in sleep they have no idea what's happening. Zhao Hu's eyes glow red as he mutters insanely, not a single order keeper will escape today. Oh, great Rama, I offer these sacrifices to you. I only hope you can descend through this ritual and lead us. Suddenly, a flash of green light shoots out from nowhere. Zhao Hu dodges with a flip, looking around frantically for the attacker. Da Zhuang was right that Coward really did want the artifact for himself. Zhao Hu is stunned. How is he awake? Didn't the calming tea work on him? His eyes dart around as he thinks of an excuse, finally forcing a laugh. Ah, you misunderstood. I was just studying it. After I'm done with my research, I'll give this device to you. After seeing our hero take down that giant beast before, Zhao Hu knows this guy is a tough order keeper to deal with. Luckily, he thinks the kid is an idiot. For now, any excuse should hold him off. But Zhao Hu didn't expect this. Da Zhuang doesn't buy it for a second and points right at him, accusingly. Don't even try to deny it. You're clearly trying to refine the heavenly grade artifact for yourself. I saw it with my own eyes, the red-haired man shouted. Wait, you misunderstood, Zhao Hu explains. This device seems to hold some kind of mystic power. It can't be used casually. We have to study it first. And just like that, this clever lie completely fools the unsuspecting Da Zhuang. Da Zhuang immediately pulls his hand back, scratching his head. Oh, right. My masters always taught me you can't use a heaven-tier artifact directly. You have to attune it with your spirit first. Zhao Hu lets out a quiet sigh of relief and quickly agrees. Exactly. That's right. You're just in time, he says. The basic adjustments are done. Go on, you can test its power now. Da Zhuang thinks he's just clearing up the earlier misunderstanding. He never expected a senior like him to be so considerate. Fooling him was way too easy. Zhao Hu, lucky that his target is so naive, tells Da Zhuang to go ahead and touch it, but the second he makes contact, the lamp springs a trap, engulfing him completely. Zhao Hu's true colors show. Ha, you fool, I'm going to absorb your spiritual energy. Only then does Da Zhuang realize he's walked right into a trap. Turns out, Zhao Hu had already been corrupted by an otherworldly demon, but the realization comes too late. An intense pain shoots through our hero's head, and he collapses, writhing in pure agony. He screams, but there's no one around to help. All Zhao Hu has to do now is wait until enough sacrifices are gathered. Then, the presence of a great being will descend. Boom! A massive explosion rips through the center of the safe zone. All that's left is a massive crater. Da Zhuang is buried under the rubble, barely breathing, as a hand reaches down and picks up the lamp. It's a colossal monster, ripped with muscles and sporting 7 ferocious, dragon-like heads. The monster's voice screeches out, "The spiritual power of an order keeper. So much better than a mere mortal's. Now, let's see how you like being attacked by your own spiritual power." The monster opens its maw, unleashing a tsunami of blue energy. It's aimed right at Da Zhuang. He's at death's door when suddenly, Wan Mao and Momo arrive just in the nick of time. In a flash, Wan Mao yanks Da Zhuang from the debris while Momo intercepts the monster's devastating attack head-on. The beast roars, "Order keepers? So you're all here? Perfect. I'll just drain the spiritual power from all 3 of you." The monster inhales sharply. Momo throws up a protective barrier, but the sheer force of its power sends a splitting headache through her. This is a disaster-class monster. No one understands how a beast this powerful could have appeared in the Nanhai Station safe zone. All 3 of them are completely disoriented, the world spinning around them while Da Zhuang is still out cold. He seems to be badly injured. But just as Wan Mao tells Momo this, our hero suddenly springs to his feet. His first words after opening his eyes, "Damn it, Heaven-tier artifacts really are too dangerous." It made his power go haywire. Wan Mao is stunned. "What? You know who that is?" Da Zhuang quickly explains that it's Zhao Hu from the Nanhai sect. "It's my fault," he lies. "I carelessly gave him the artifact, and it turned him into this." Of course, no one suspects Zhao Hu was corrupted long ago, but this whole incident just proves one thing to Da Zhuang. That heaven-tier artifact is no ordinary weapon, and his instincts were right. Now, our hero is determined to get his hands on it. With that artifact, their entire team could become way more powerful. The monster shatters their barrier in an instant. Huan Mao and Da Zhuang dodge its opening strike, but Momo is struggling to hold on. She cries out to her teammates for help. Our hero immediately signals, "Senior Huan Mao, you draw its fire. I'll use that chance to launch a surprise attack." Huan Mao leaps into the air, successfully drawing the monster's full attention. Just as the beast lashes out with a long, snake-like tongue, he grabs it with both hands, giving Momo an opening to strike another head. After a short struggle, the monster tumbles into the crater. Step 1 of the ambush is a success as our hero closes in from behind. Wan Mao keeps up the distraction, chucking a huge rock at its head. Seeing his chance, Da Zhuang makes a break for it. He aims for one thing, the artifact still embedded in the monster's flesh. He grabs hold and pulls with everything he's got. The monster feels its prize being stolen. It whips around, roaring, "Get away from that! Taste my power!" From below, Momo uses her powers to restrain one of its 7 heads. They're attacking from 3 sides now. Da Zhuang grits his teeth. "Give me that heaven-tier artifact." Suddenly, the energy from the artifact explodes, wrapping itself around our hero's entire body. An immense power begins draining his spiritual energy, far too much for his body to handle. He screams out, "Ag, my head, my head." Momo and Huan Mao can only watch in horror. What's happening? This is bad. Is that thing linked to Li Da Zhuang somehow? But the monster watches with glee as it finally gets what it wants, a strange, red substance. It speaks with a voice dripping with triumph. "I never expected Li Da Zhuang's spiritual power to be this potent. After absorbing it, my own strength has become absolutely immense. You so-called order keepers are no match for me now. I will become a being on par with the evil gods themselves." The monster uses one head to clamp down on our hero's body, completely immobilizing him. The other 6 heads then turn toward Da Zhuang. Their goal? To drain every last drop of his spiritual energy. He thrashes in agony, screaming, his eyes turning blood red. His spiritual power was being drained, and fast. Watching from the sidelines, Momo and Quan Mao were on the edge of their seats. The monster gloated, saying that after it sucked him dry, it was coming for them next. But its laughter died quick. A powerful bolt of lightning crashed down, shaking the heavens and locking the monster in place. It couldn't even hold on to its prey anymore. A godlike version of Da Zhuang appeared, coolly asking, "Another evil spirit making a mess?" Quan Mao saw his idol and lit up, shouting, "All right, that badass brother logged in. We're gonna be okay." The monster roared in fury. "You bastard, I'll kill you." It opened its 7 mouths, ready for a counterattack, but its opponent was on a completely different level now. With a single wave, he completely neutralized the monster's vortex. The beast's eyes widened in shock. How did he suddenly get so powerful? But then again, good. Once it absorbed him, its power would be even greater. Not giving up, the monster transformed its 6 heads into 6 sharp blades, launching them at Da Zhuang at the speed of light. The young man didn't even flinch, a smirk playing on his lips. You really don't know your place. Heavenly lightning struck down again. The monster shrieked. Ah, my head. This opponent was too strong to face head-on for now. The monster decided to make a run for it, turning tail and scrambling away. But it didn't get far before Da Zhuang pointed forward. He launched dozens of swords right at it. On the brink of death, the monster braced for the end when something impossible happened. The godlike version of Da Zhuang suddenly vanished, and the final sword strike dissolved. The monster, having held its breath, finally gasped for air. That was way too close. Da Zhuang collapsed to the ground, scrambling to sit up in confusion. He frantically looked around. Hey, senior brother. How could you leave before this evil god is dead? He didn't even finish before the monster's tail whipped out. It sent him flying without a second thought. Quan Mao leaped forward, his voice filled with despair. You can't be serious. Their overpowered big bro was gone again. The monster, having survived a huge scare, unleashed its rage. You piece of trash, you dare mock me? Die! It struck again with its tail, this time knocking all three of them away at once. Our main character slammed hard into a large rock. He saw Momo and Quan Mao lying behind him, barely moving. Da Zhuang called out weakly, but no one answered. The monster used its ultimate move, an all-out finishing blow. Momo couldn't move, with no way left to resist. The girl braced herself for the absolute worst. But our hero screamed, Damn you, demon! Don't you dare harm them! He flew forward, shielding Momo and Quan Mao with his own body. Red blood splattered everywhere. Da Zhuang collapsed right in front of Momo. Her heart shattered, but all she could do was helplessly scream his name. As he fell, one single thought flashed through Da Zhuang's mind. If only I could have been just a little stronger. His Sword Saint senior brother must have been so disappointed that he just left. Da Zhuang had failed his senior's expectations. The monster loomed over him, sneering. You're strong, I'll admit that, but what a shame. In the end, you're still going to lose to your very own spiritual power. It reached out its hand to grab the boy. A helpless tear rolled down Da Zhuang's cheek, and then a voice echoed in his ear. You can't even restore the sect, you failure. The sect master appeared, surrounded by a blinding golden light. He raged. How many times have I told you? Only persistence is the eternal truth. Back then, the headmaster had forced a treatment plan on Da Zhuang. But in the boy's eyes, the sect master was just lecturing him. The old man patted his head and said, You must train hard to see the righteous path. My teachings, did you ever truly try to understand them? You have to cooperate. To defeat a powerful enemy, you need courage that fears nothing and a spirit that absolutely refuses to fail. That 8 sweeping arts manual I left you is the key. Read a book 100 times, and its true meaning will reveal itself. Every time the headmaster lectured him and he wouldn't listen, he would be beaten until he finally fell silent. It happened at least once a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Da Zhuang's mind drifted. Read a book 100 times, but he had studied so hard. The thunder art from the sect master, the fire art from his senior sister, and the sword techniques from his Sword Saint senior brother. Wait a minute, could it be? The boy shot up as it all clicked. I understand now. So that was it. The sword technique, the fire art, and the 8 sweeping arts. Myriad Dao becomes one. Da Zhuang's eyes snapped open. Just as the monster reached him, his body erupted into flames. The hero swung his arm, and fire instantly engulfed the monster. Da Zhuang rose to his feet and declared, Demon, your opponent is me. Just when the battle seemed to be over, our main character suddenly staged a comeback. Absolutely nobody saw that coming. He'd finally realized the monster's weakness, the 5-element counter system. What he had just understood was a fire-based sweeping sword technique. It was the perfect counter to a wood system demon like this one. Da Zhuang used the fire to forge a sword. His goal was total domination, leaving his opponent 0 chance to fight back. He performed the 8 sweeping sword arts, his hands moving like a dancer's. He followed it up with the Myriad Dao Fire Rain Sword, attacking the monster directly, a storm of fire and a whirlwind of blades. The monster let out a final roar, Ah, impossible, before exploding like a bomb. The main character finally exhaled. Phew, it's over. The moment Da Zhuang stepped out, Curly gave him a wink. Li Da Zhuang, you were seriously cool. Da Zhuang looked over at Momo, his heart filled with emotion. He dropped to his knees, bowing over and over. Thank you, Fire Control Sister, for your guidance. I merged the fire control art with the sweeping 8 palms technique. That was how he was able to create this new sword style. Momo just stared blankly, wondering when she had ever taught him that. Could it be that he just saw her using the ghost fire once and then figured it all out by himself? Curly leaned in close, whispering, don't you have the ghost fire ability? Since when did you have such a mysterious technique? Da Zhuang ran over, hugging Momo's leg and begging for more lessons. The girl just smiled. Well, I'll have to see how you behave first. As long as you don't cause trouble, I'll teach you a few more things. Deal? Da Zhuang leaped for joy, then immediately fell to the ground, rolling and clutching his stomach in pain. He grabbed a handful of grass, saying he'd eat some immortal herbs to recover. Seeing him eat so eagerly, Momo chimed in. If you want it to work, you should eat a lot more. Da Zhuang was deeply moved. Many thanks. He began munching on the grass before offering a handful to Momo. The girl happily accepted the handful of weeds. Fearing Momo had lost her mind, Curly rushed to her side. Momo! That's just a weed. You're not being brainwashed by Da Zhuang, are you? Momo simply smiled back. Didn't he say it was an immortal herb? Who knows? Maybe it actually works for his body type. Living with a psycho this long, you're bound to start thinking like one. This world has already gone completely insane. So acting a little crazy yourself from time to time, it's fine. After eating, Da Zhuang felt refreshed, his internal injuries completely healed. He cheered. Senior sister's medicinal herbs really work. My wounds are all healed. Curly was absolutely stunned, his brain's CPU nearly short-circuiting from the shock. He quickly dropped down and began stuffing the weeds into his mouth, leaving Momo completely astonished. The three then returned to the safe zone, but the people there had started acting strangely overnight. The moment Elle saw Momo, she ran over. I was woken up by a really loud noise. I saw my roommate was in a bad state, so I went outside to check. It turns out, everyone has become like that. It's like they're just like us. Mo asked back. You mean they've all lost their minds too? Momo then observed the people around her, and just as Elle said, they all had dark circles under their eyes, looking dazed and unstable. Their movements were bizarre. Some crawled like snails, others swam like fish, while some just stood motionless like trees. But they weren't order keepers either. It was incredibly weird. She recalled Zhao Hu mentioning mental power. Could that be what this is about? Da Zhuang leaped down from above. He then sat beside one of the dazed men, taking his hand and rambling on. Looking at them, Momo realized what happened. Zhao Hu must have drained everyone's mental energy, causing normal people to become like this. Seeing the man in a state worse than his own, Da Zhuang was filled with compassion. That hateful demon. He drained the souls of the South Sea sect disciples to power himself, and now they've all become mindless puppets. Everyone, rest assured, I will definitely take back the South Sea sect. No, I mean, I'll manage the South Sea sect properly. I will give you all an explanation. Da Zhuang had planned to start his own sect, but now wanted to manage this one. He'd clearly changed his mind. When Momo asked him about it, the guy grabbed a branch for a flagpole and used his shorts as a banner for his rebellion. He then declared, Today, I, Li Da Zhuang, start a rebellion. The South Sea sect is now the Sweeping Eight Palms sect. From now on, all the mountains, artifacts, rare books, and treasures of the South Sea sect will belong to our Sweeping Eight Palms sect. I, Li Da Zhuang, will use this as our base to pacify the demons of the four seas. Momo couldn't stand looking at his underwear flag and awkwardly turned away. When asked when he made the flag, he simply said, I couldn't sleep last night, so I made it then. Turns out I overheard that demon scheming, so it came in pretty handy. Elle and Momo had previously planned to find a way to leave someone as dangerous as Da Zhuang, but now he had decided to stay in the safe zone to manage his new sect. Elle turned to Momo and asked, Sister Momo, does this mean we have to find another safe zone? Momo smiled in response. Li Da Zhuang didn't care about the danger to himself. He risked his life to save me and Curly. Even though he's a little crazy, he's a friend worth having. I'm willing to stay here and build this sect with him. The main character standing nearby raised his hand. Senior sister, since the South Sea sect disciples are all mindless now, why don't we trick them into joining us to build our new sect? Momo, of course, had no objections to renaming the sect. She simply told Da Zhuang to do as he pleased. She only reminded him not to feed them anything weird. Da Zhuang immediately agreed and ran off to gather everyone. With the power of the crowd, they worked together to rebuild the tents, repair damaged structures, and reorganize everything. Elle watched them work and thought to herself, so this was Sister Momo's plan. If Da Zhuang rebuilds the safe zone, they can live here. Suddenly, Elle's foot caught on something, causing her to fall. Her cry for help caught Momo's attention, and she quickly rushed over. She wonders what's wrong, and Momo turns to see the cause of the accident. It was that very same lamp from before. This could be useful. Zhao Hu mentions how it drained their spiritual energy, which explains why Momo felt so weak earlier. Could this be connected to that mysterious loss of power? If so, that means Li Da Zhuang's powerful personality vanished because this thing drained his spiritual power, making him unstable. Momo reaches out her hand, and a red aura appears from the lamp once again. Her theory was spot on. What if she used this to store Li Da Zhuang's normal spiritual energy, then force-feed it to him at a critical moment? Could that summon his powerful alter ego? While she's lost in thought, Da Zhuang asks what's on her mind. Momo points to the lamp and replies, "Hey, I found your heaven-grade artifact." Our hero, who was carrying a crate, drops it instantly. He scrambles over, digging furiously at the dirt to get the lamp out, shouting with joy as he does. He always planned to find it after rebuilding the sect, but his senior sister found it first. She really was his lucky star. Mud flies everywhere, some of it even splattering on Momo's face, but she just smiles, telling him to take good care of it, as it might be useful later. Da Zhuang, holding his precious artifact, beams with his eyes crinkling into a smile. Okay, I'll listen to you, he says, before going to carefully store his new heaven-grade weapon. He stops at a chest and opens the lid. Inside, he finds a single remaining gold coin, a relic from the South Sea sect's treasure. But something's weird. The coin radiates a bone-chilling cold. He's not sure why, but this feels like a bad sign. Suddenly, our hero's index finger starts glowing. The system appears with a notification. "Congratulations, host. Treasure hunt quest activated." So that's what this is. The system explains that to rebuild, you need funds. And since the host wants to restore his sect, he needs cash. Now, the system gives him two paths. 1. Find the lost treasure using a map, or 2. The old-fashioned way robbery. All he has to do is plunder a passing caravan, and their money problems will be over. Faced with these two choices, Da Zhuang is more confident than ever. After today's battle, he feels like a seasoned cultivator. So, of course, he chooses both. The system is thrilled. He kicks off his plan, using an electric kettle as a megaphone to make a grand announcement. "Attention, fellow members of the Sweeping Eight sect. Your sect leader has something to declare. As of today, our sect officially enters the crucial rebuilding phase. However, we are currently lacking the necessary resources. Therefore, we must venture out and find treasure." While he's giving his big speech up top, the people below are just writhing on the ground like slugs and fish. It's honestly impressive that he can even deliver a coherent speech in an environment like this. Da Zhuang patiently continues. "From what I've gathered, a caravan from the western regions will pass by soon. They're carrying a huge amount of resources and treasures, perfect for us to plunder. With that, we can rebuild the sect." But Wan Mao is confused, asking how he could possibly know that. Da Zhuang plays it cool. "I'm the acting sect leader. Of course I won't fail. I have my own sources of information. Sometimes our main character is surprisingly clever. Playing dumb at the right moment is the perfect way to rally people a lesson taught by the old sect master." Da Zhuang also tells Momo that the caravan alone isn't enough. They need to think of something else. That's the real reason he gathered everyone here. He wanted to choose a few reliable people to go out and work with him. Momo guesses the caravan is actually the supply transport team. He just has his own unique way of putting things. She glances around, only to see a crowd of people squirming and crawling all over the place. No one is paying him any attention. Da Zhuang finally snaps and yells, "Stop messing around. All of you, be quiet and listen to me." But the group on the left completely ignores him. Enraged, Da Zhuang hurls a crate in their direction, shouting, "How can we rebuild the sect if you keep fooling around like this?" Still nothing. The guy is fuming, practically steaming with rage. He decides it's time for some hands-on discipline and stomps toward the idiots. He rolls up his sleeves as he marches toward them, muttering, "This won't do. I have to correct this unhealthy trend myself." He gets to the first guy and points, "You, stop throwing that and pack up." But before he can finish, the flag in the man's hand catches his eye. It's the treasure map. Da Zhuang's eyes light up as he reaches for it, saying, "My good brother, let me borrow that for a second." The man, seeing his possession being stolen, isn't about to give in. He snatches the flag back. "No way," he flatly refuses. "This is my family heirloom, you can't have it." Hearing it's a family heirloom only makes Da Zhuang more determined to take it. Who knows what kind of countless treasures it might lead to. The two get into a tug-of-war, with Da Zhuang acting like a shameless robber in broad daylight. The other man's pleas for help are useless. Model. Using every dirty trick in the book, Da Zhuang tried to convince the guy. He desperately needed the treasure map and would agree to any condition. "Just hand over the map, and I'll do anything you ask." The man finally turned his head and asked, "Really?" Da Zhuang nodded instantly. "Absolutely, my word is my bond." The man in shorts stepped back and raised a hand to state his terms. All right then, the fortune teller said. My fate is lacking gold, so give me some. Da Zhuang's face fell. If I had gold, why would I need you? But then he remembered something and started digging through his clothes. Mo and Elle turned bright red with embarrassment. At last, Da Zhuang pulled out a single gold coin and asked, How about this? The young man's eyes lit up as he eagerly took it, and with that, the deal was done. He quickly handed the tattered map to Da Zhuang and skipped off, singing, Yeah, I get to eat tonight. The flame spirit popped up just then, rushing over to inspect the map. Mo, in her innocence, just assumed it was for some kind of game. But this was no game, it was the map to the 3,000 Great Daos. Da Zhuang studied it meticulously, saying, This is definitely a family heirloom. It looks so lifelike. My guess is the treasure is hidden inside some kind of underground palace. That would mean countless magical weapons and piles of gold. Curly was ecstatic, his eyes sparkling. His mind raced with the possibilities. Doesn't that mean there'll be tons of shiny things? Oh, I want to go, I have to go. Mo noticed the flame spirit trying to communicate something. It seemed to know a very concerning detail about Li Da Zhuang. As Elle saw Curly begging Da Zhuang to follow the map, she wanted in on the action too. Mo came up with a new plan. They'd split into two teams. Mo would go with Li Da Zhuang, while Curly and Elle would follow the map to the treasure. This would probably be the safer option for those two. The whole group enthusiastically agreed. Our main character chimed in. Senior sister always thinks everything through so well. If the caravan from the western regions puts up a fight, the two of us can team up to take them down. After all, they worked perfectly together. Although that wasn't her intention, Mo had made her decision. She glanced at the flame spirit, thinking, very few things can actually get me this interested. Da Zhuang led Mo to a nearby construction site. He walked up the stone steps, calling out, Senior sister, according to my intel, the route for the western caravan is near here. If we look around, we're bound to find a trace of them. Mo followed close behind, carefully scanning her surroundings. When the flame spirit suddenly appeared, she quietly asked, What's wrong? Hold on. She tried to hide, just in case Li Da Zhuang's other personality emerged. The flame spirit tried with all its might to pull Mo back, but failed. Da Zhuang turned back and asked, What's wrong, senior sister? Mo quickly waved her hands to say it was nothing, but the spirit yanked her away forcefully. Seeing this, Da Zhuang couldn't help but laugh. Is that your soul flame pathfinding technique, senior sister? Your control over fire magic is truly outstanding, much more effective than just looking around with our eyes. But then Mo suddenly spun around, pointing directly at him. The flame spirit shot forward and punched him square in the face. The attack was so unexpected, Da Zhuang couldn't react. He whimpered, Senior sister, don't hit me. It seems that other personality isn't coming out, and that was a good thing, to avoid Li Da Zhuang turning the spirit into a monster again. Just then, a stone fell at the bottom of the stairs. Then, they heard Mo cry out strangely. She clutched her head in pain. Such a powerful spiritual attack. Could another monster like Zhao Hu be here? Our hero caught Mo just as the flame spirit flew off to investigate something. Mo urgently tugged on Da Zhuang's shirt. Li Da Zhuang, you need to go, now. Da Zhuang chased the spirit and found a group of one-eyed demons busy counting money. Their leader kept barking orders. Faster, pick up the pace, no slacking. But they kept losing count because there was just so much money. Da Zhuang hid behind a pillar to observe. He couldn't believe it, the Western merchant caravan was actually colluding with demons from another realm. No wonder the system gave him a mission like this. The flame spirit waved its hands frantically, signaling for him to hurry. Our hero whispered, I know, but we have to assess the situation first. The spirit immediately turned away, scoffing at his cowardice. Da Zhuang explained in a fluster. Huh? You think I'm scared? How am I scared? I'm just waiting for the perfect moment. Senior sister was just hit by a soul attack, and she's still recovering. Even someone as strong as her got caught in their trap. What if I act rashly, get myself killed, and fail the mission completely? The flame spirit just looked at him with even more contempt. He shot back. What? Are you saying it'd be my own stupid fault if I died? Little flame spirit, what are you talking about? The spirit kicked him again, sending his head spinning. Da Zhuang tumbled out into the open, now furious. You hit me again. The sound made the demons snap their heads around, and they were finally spotted. Seeing the intruders, the demons began to shout, Humans! Capture them for the sacrifice. With the plan completely blown, Da Zhuang immediately switched to option 2. Use a blitzkrieg strategy. Finish them off before they can launch another one of those spiritual attacks. He wanted the flame spirit's help, but before he could speak, it was gone. It seems the spirit refused to listen to a single command. It charged straight into the mob of monsters, which immediately swarmed it. Caught off guard by the sudden blaze, the creatures instantly fought back. Fighting back, he spits out the fire spirit. She lands right at Dai Trang's feet, and an idea sparks. He kicks the fire spirit straight back into the demon horde, causing a massive, fiery explosion. An unexpectedly perfect combo. Even the fire spirit looks pleased, giving Dai Trang a small smile. But the demon leader lunges forward, screaming, "Die!" Our hero unleashes his sweeping eight fist, not just blocking the blow but snatching the spear from its grasp. The fire spirit uses the opening to fly right through the demon's body. Boom! The monster disintegrates into pieces. Dai Trang continues, using his flames to finish off the stragglers. Thinking the fight is over, the two turn to leave. But from the rubble, one last monster leaps out to kill Dai Trang. Suddenly, a flash of light zips by, slicing the creature clean in two. The attack came from Momo. Seeing the two, she asks, "Why are you two so cheerful?" Dai Trang just scratches his head sheepishly. "Heh, sorry senior sister, I got a bit carried away." Then, he scrambles over to a treasure chest. It's overflowing with gold coins left by the demons. Momo picks one up, asking, "Where did you two loot all of this from?" All of a sudden, she completely freezes up, an icy chill shooting straight down her spine. A tormented voice screams from behind her. "So painful. Ah, let me go. I'm going to kill you all. Let me out. I want you to suffer with us." A monster suddenly crawls out of the coin itself, cackling at Momo. "Heh, I'll be borrowing your body now." Luckily, the fire spirit reacts instantly, leaping forward to kick the one-eyed demon away from Momo's face. The gold coin clatters to the floor as Momo snaps out of her trance. All the contact with tortured souls has given the fire spirit a physical form. Dai Trang sees the small girl beside Momo and asks, "Senior sister, who is that?" The frightened fire spirit quickly hides behind Momo. Momo sees the look on his face and her heart sinks. Oh no, is Dai Trang's other side about to surface? He stares intently at the fire spirit, his eyes turning cold. "Senior sister, why does this spirit look exactly like you? Are you two both evil demons?" The fire spirit trembles uncontrollably. Momo's worst fear is realized as another personality takes over Dai Trang, stating, "If you're a demon, then don't blame me for what I do next." The fire spirit clutches her head in absolute despair, having no idea what to do. "This is bad. The last time this happened, the beating was brutal." Momo whispers to the spirit, "You need to get away. Now." Once this other personality surfaces, Dai Trang becomes completely ruthless. She looks back at him, torn. Should I try to knock him out? But what if she can't beat him? What if he holds a grudge against her for trying? Dai Trang throws a punch, yelling, "Demon, prepare to die!" But the fire spirit bravely peeks out, points a finger and shouts, "How dare you, Dai Trang? Open your eyes and look closely. You dare to attack me?" The sudden command actually makes the confused Dai Trang pull back his fist. Seeing her chance, the fire spirit presses on. "I am the one who saved your life. Is this any way to treat your benefactor? Now that you've gotten stronger, switching between personalities, you think you have the right to attack me? Is that it?" Momo is sweating bullets, whispering frantically to the fire spirit, "I told you to run away. What on earth are you saying?" Dai Trang is utterly baffled by this. "You say you're my benefactor, but I don't remember you at all. Have we even met before?" The fire spirit points at him with pure indignation. "Dai Trang, you have let me down beyond words. You've already forgotten the person who saved you. How am I supposed to trust you in the future?" Dai Trang's confusion deepens until he suddenly remembers his sect master's words. In that moment, the young man snaps back to his senses, and the aggressive personality vanishes. He murmurs to himself, "That's right, the sect master taught me that one must always repay their debts of gratitude. How could I forget my own savior? Who is she?" He looks again at the fire spirit, and recognition dawns. "It was you?" The spirit nods eagerly. Yep, I'm Sister Momo's adorable little sister." Without a second thought, Dai Trang drops to his knees on the ground. He begins bowing over and over, completely repentant. "Ancestor from on high, this disciple was ignorant. I didn't know you had personally descended. Please forgive any of my shortcomings." Momo and the fire spirit exchange a bewildered look. He's talking that strange nonsense again. Dai Trang clasps his hands respectfully and says, "Aren't you the sacred relic of the Sweeping Eight sect? The ancestor who ascended to godhood?" The fire spirit just points to herself. "Huh? Me?" Our hero continues, filled with awe. "To think the great ancestor herself is my life-saving benefactor. I am moved beyond words. But since you are here, could you perhaps guide this humble one?" Momo nearly bursts out laughing and whispers to the fire spirit. I was just trying to remind him that I was the one who saved him when that flower demon almost ate him. It's just that he switches personalities so suddenly, appearing in so many places without any trace. Based on experience, Dai Trang's mind will just invent something to make sense of it all. I think he forgot what really happened, and couldn't logically explain your existence. So for now, you get to be the great ancestor. But that's a good thing. You can use that status to keep him in line and stop his other personality from hurting you. The fire spirit immediately protests. Who wants to be an ancestor? An ancestor? Li Da Zhuang was acting like a 3-year-old. Couldn't he be more mature for once? The comment made Momo chuckle. Fire Ghost then planted her hands on her hips, proudly declaring, "That's right, I am the great ancestor of the sweeping sect." Da Zhuang's eyes immediately lit up with hope, but Fire Ghost decided to play hard to get. Disciple Da Zhuang, I must test you. What do you even know about my identity as the ancestor? Her goal was really just to figure out what kind of character he expected her to play. Da Zhuang thought for a moment before answering. They say, during your cultivation, you suddenly achieved enlightenment. Your body and soul ascended, and you left the mortal world behind. But sometimes your spirit returns to the sweeping sect to guide the disciples. It was clear this ancestor was a legendary figure in his mind. Hearing this, Fire Ghost figured the role wasn't too difficult. She waved her hand, praised his simple explanation, and decided to just go with it. Momo helped Da Zhuang up, reminding him, "From now on, don't mess around in front of the ancestor." Da Zhuang immediately started flattering Momo. "So senior sister is the pill-refining attendant for the ancestor. You've just been hiding your identity all along. Don't worry, I will never reveal this secret." In reality, Fire Ghost is Momo's sister, a ghost soul who is always by her side. She can transform into soul fire, using it as an attack skill when needed. But now, Fire Ghost had a new public persona, ancestor of the sweeping sect. She cleared her throat and announced, "Then let me reintroduce myself. I am the great ancestor of the sweeping sect, the creator of the fire control art, a literal god on this continent, master of soul fire, and an 8th-level great elder of the soul hall." Even though she looked like a child, her mind was incredibly sharp. Then she rattled off a ridiculously long and convoluted title for herself, ending with a triumphant, "Ha ha ha, talk about an ego." But Da Zhuang was totally into it, clapping his hands non-stop. Fire Ghost put on a serious face. "Normally, I disguise myself as the pill attendant's younger sister. Don't be surprised when you see it." The main character clasped his hands respectfully and bowed. This disciple understands. He then tried to report how the outer heavenly demons appeared and destroyed the sweeping sect, but Fire Ghost immediately silenced him, saying she already knew everything. Da Zhuang was even more impressed, clinging to her. "You truly are the ancestor. Can you teach me your divination skills? From now on, I will be your most loyal follower." Meanwhile, Momo went to inspect the gold coins from before. The coins were crawling with attack-type ghost souls. An aura of pure suffering and despair radiated from the pile. "Please," the voices cried. "Someone save me. Let me pass on. Please." Momo guessed that souls were sealed inside the gold. Fire Ghost grabbed her arm, confirming, "Sister, all of these coins have souls sealed inside. I heard them before, they're the ones who led us here." It all clicked for Momo. No wonder the souls had tried to attack her earlier. It was likely because she and Fire Ghost had been together so long, their auras had started to smell exactly the same to the spirits. They even wanted to use Momo as a vessel for possession. But Momo just thought, she's not dead, so it wouldn't be that easy. The girl then recalled the 7-headed monster's words about some kind of sacrifice. Momo remembered Zhao Hu also mentioned preparing offerings, but back then, he was just spiritual energy. How did he become a sealed soul now? Da Zhuang turned to her. "Senior sister, there must be more than one type of sacrifice, right?" He pointed out that even the lowest level god summoning ritual requires 3 offerings. Momo agreed. They needed to find out what those beasts serving the evil god required. Da Zhuang wondered if they should just try to capture all of them first. Suddenly, his index finger started glowing. The system activated a hidden quest. Da Zhuang was shocked to see the system's avatar had grown much taller. The system smiled. It seems that the host unlocking a hidden quest has made the system quite excited. You know how boys puff up when they get excited. The quest was to find a hidden soul-sealing artifact to cleanse the lingering spirits in the coins. The cleansed coins could then be exchanged for system rewards. Da Zhuang couldn't believe he had to pay for this, but the system simply stated, "The rewards that can be exchanged are incredibly rich. The choice is yours, host." The tool to cleanse the coins was hidden somewhere nearby. At the same time, Elle and Curly followed their treasure map to a red X. Curly dug frantically with his shovel, but there was no treasure to be found. Elle was losing hope. Curly, maybe we should just go back? The treasure might not be here. But he refused to give up, grunting, no way. The sect master said the treasure is here. We can't go back empty-handed. A little more effort and we'll find it. But the more Elle stared at the map, the stranger it looked. Just then, Curly suddenly tripped and cried out in pain. Elle turned to suggest they leave, but when she looked back, he was gone. Only the silent, disturbed earth remained. No enemy in sight. She figured it wasn't an ambush and rushed forward, calling out, "Curly, are you?" Peering down, they saw only an endless pit. Suddenly, Elle misstepped on loose rock and plummeted straight down with a terrified scream. She landed hard on a boulder at the bottom, her entire body aching. Rubbing the sore spot, she looked up, realizing she'd fallen into a massive cavern, and then a skeletal hand shot out, nearly scaring the soul right out of her. Just then, Quan Mao popped his head out, waving the hand he was chewing on. "Whoa. Elle, you're here too. See how fast I found it?" Elle was furious, screaming at him to drop it. But looking closer, she couldn't believe it. An entire hidden world lay beneath the park. If she had to guess, this had to be the ruins of some ancient city, completely undiscovered. And these two just stumbled right into it. Quan Mao's eyes lit up. The treasure must be in this underground palace. No wonder we couldn't find it before. And with that, he bolted headfirst into the pitch-black darkness ahead of them. Elle yelled after him, "Wait! Something about this place doesn't feel right." Suddenly, two glowing red eyes appeared from the shadows. A chilling voice echoed, "Who is this little thief?" Shaking, Elle turned around. Who are you?" At that very moment, the system's finger began to glow, and a voice announced, "Congratulations, host, for finding a clue to purify the coins. Please find the next clue quickly." Guihuo thought of the souls sealed here, living a fate worse than death. It was truly a pitiful sight. She begged Momo to save them, but unfortunately, even Momo was powerless to help. Just then, Da Zhuang came flying in. The young man shouted with joy, "Old ancestor, I found a way to cleanse those coins." Guihuo was thrilled but tried to maintain the calm composure of an ancestor. You mean to say, it's true?" Da Zhuang nodded, pointing to the left. "It's true. We just need to head that way to find the next clue." Momo was slightly startled. She remembered the treasure map's destination was in that direction. Could there be a monster there? She took off running, yelling, "We have to hurry." Quan Mao and Elle could be in serious danger. The male lead signaled for everyone to stop. He'd heard a noise. It sounded like running water. Momo found that odd. Why would there be running water in an abandoned factory? Da Zhuang tried to pinpoint the sound. It seems to be coming from the left. No, wait, the right. That wasn't it either. Cracks split the ground as a green liquid erupted from below. The sludge suddenly surged right towards the main character and Momo. Luckily, Guihuo reacted in time to block the disaster. Da Zhuang stood guard in front, warning his senior sister to be careful. From the swirling green muck, a demon began to crawl out. Another disaster-level threat. This was about to be a serious fight. The monster lunged faster than wind, aiming straight for Da Zhuang. Its voice boomed with rage. "Unforgivable sinner. You dare covet the sacrifice for the evil god." Guihuo thought it was grotesquely ugly and had no idea what kind of creature it even was. But the situation was critical. Da Zhuang dodged its attack and yelled, "Old ancestor, now is not the time to focus on details. We cultivators of the Caoba sect consider it our duty to eliminate evil spirits." Guihuo, as the old ancestor, granted Da Zhuang the chance to gain some experience. Taking that as his motivation, our hero charged the monster, unleashing his Caoba sword style to face it head-on. Momo yelled from behind, "That's a disaster-level monster. Don't be so reckless." The creature saw him approach and roared, "You still dare to resist? Unforgivable." It took a deep breath, inflated like a balloon, and shot out a powerful column of water. Our main character flipped through the air like a flash, narrowly avoiding the deadly attack. He never expected a demon to possess a rare water spirit root. He wiped his sword and countered, "Demon, face my myriad Dao fire dance sword. Let's see if your water is stronger than my fire." The two elements, fire and water, clashed. However, water naturally beats fire, and his sword technique was snuffed out. Da Zhuang was forced to change his strategy. It seemed his only option was to use his ultimate, life-risking technique. He prepared for a life-or-death battle against the demon. Today, either the monster would die, or he would. His eyes crackled with powerful lightning. Guihuo found this odd and asked Momo, "Why is he suddenly acting so proper? Aren't you going to stop him?" Momo admitted she always felt things weren't this simple. After using the lightning to stun the monster, Da Zhuang immediately sprinted back towards Momo. He grabbed her hand and pulled her along, his voice urgent. Senior sister, old ancestor, run for it. Gi Huo flew beside them and said, Ah, I actually thought you were going to fight to the death. So it was just a diversion to escape? Da Zhuang could only apologize. My apologies, old ancestor, but this demon is a water spirit root, which directly counters my techniques. Plus, it's from the Western world, so I have no way to counter it yet. A direct fight would be a guaranteed loss. Our best bet is to find senior brother Quan Mao first. He studied in the West, so he might know a way. Da Zhuang was sure his brother knew everything about these demons and could help. All the while, Momo was getting dragged along, completely out of breath. Seeing that the main character seemed to know everything, she panted. When exactly did you come up with this script for him? Wrong. Where did you get this map? Da Zhuang insisted the system had copied the original perfectly. Soon, they arrived at a rather old park. Based on the map, the main character was certain this was the place. Luckily, that evil spirit hadn't followed them here yet. Momo scanned the area. The park wasn't large, but she couldn't see any sign of El or Wan Mao. Nearby, they only found a few freshly dug holes. Fire Spirit guessed the two of them made the pits, but Momo wondered if they'd already gone back to base. Flames appeared in the distance. They never thought the monster would catch up so fast. The moment it saw Da Zhuang, it roared. Despicable! You worthless humans dare to play games with me. It charged forward, absolutely furious. The already weak ground couldn't take the immense pressure and began to collapse. Momo and the male lead fell straight into the pit. The monster pushed off the edge with its hands, launching itself back to safety. It didn't fall. Fire Spirit shut its eyes tight, screaming, This is bad, we're going to die. Da Zhuang gritted his teeth, yelling, 8 sweeping secs, fly, fly. I'm flying. Momo landed with a thud, expecting terrible pain, but it didn't feel like it. The girl looked at her body, completely unharmed. How could she fall from such a height and be totally fine? The ground below was covered in thick weeds. Momo remembered the ground looked like solid stone slabs when they were falling. Then she saw Da Zhuang, flattened beneath her. His voice trembled. Senior sister, men and women shouldn't be so close. Perhaps you could get up first? Momo stood up, embarrassed, while the dizzy young man's head was still spinning. Fire Spirit peeked out and asked, Where is this place? Did Wan Mao and El fall in here too? I feel the presence of souls up ahead, but it's chaotic. I can't identify them. Da Zhuang got to his feet, finally regaining his senses. He observed the beautiful scenery inside, and his heart leaped with excitement. Could this space have its own secret barrier magic? This terrifying place must hold some kind of opportunity. He thought this might be the place where his cultivation could finally advance. Momo hurried off to search for their friends, turning back to see Da Zhuang standing still. We need to find them, she said. The main character rushed to catch up. They waded through mud, crossed ice and snow, and climbed treacherous rock mountains, going around and around in circles. Da Zhuang was completely out of breath. He said, There's definitely something wrong with this place. Why does the scenery keep shifting like an inescapable maze? At that moment, they were crossing an area of flowing lava. Momo, however, felt differently. She was certain El's energy had been activated. The main character was shocked. He never knew senior sister El could use this kind of magic. Momo worried silently. With El's personality, she wouldn't activate her powers so easily. And for the space to be this severely distorted, could something have happened to her and Wan Mao? Just then, Da Zhuang spoke up unexpectedly. I think you're wrong. This kind of power messes with time and space. In this entire world, I'm afraid only the foreign races of the Dream 3000 worlds could do this. But why would a foreign race be here? Fire Spirit interrupted. A foreign race? Are you saying El is a spy hiding within our sect? Da Zhuang heard the word spy, and it clearly triggered him. A completely different version of himself surfaced. He clutched his head, rambling. Spy? What spy? A spy? I'm not a spy. I'm really not. Momo sighed. He's transformed again. She'd never seen this version before. Fire Spirit approached him. No one said you were a spy. I asked if you suspected El. The main character whipped his head around, reacting with extreme agitation. What? So you're saying I'm not the only spy here? No, I meant someone else is the spy, not me. He continued arguing with himself until Fire Spirit was exasperated. Friendly Da Zhuang, stop panicking. My ancestor was just joking with you. Da Zhuang just shook his head back and forth. So, the ancestor of the 8 sweeping secs. Can he see through my spy disguise? No, that's not right. What I mean is, whatever. Momo guessed this was a new personality, and there were probably other storylines connected to him. What kind of character this was remained a mystery, but it seemed this version of Li Da Zhuang was extremely cowardly. Don't provoke him, she warned. You might scare him senseless. Startled, Fire Spirit quickly agreed. All right, I'll listen to you. At that moment, Da Zhuang looked at the two of them. But from his point of view, he saw a pair of vicious mountain gods. They stared at him like they wanted to eat him alive right then and there. Da Zhuang's whole body trembled, tears and snot streaming down his face. Don't kill me, please don't. I'm really not a spy. Ah. And with that, he took off running like a madman. Seeing this, Momo quickly gave chase but couldn't keep up. The boy ran for his life when he saw her chasing him. Running so fast he tripped on a rock and tumbled several times, screaming, "Ah, the righteous sect is trying to silence me." Momo sensed the instability around them and shouted a warning. Li Da Zhuang, stop running around. This place isn't safe. This space was getting more and more unstable. With L's power, the closer they got to her, the more chaotic it would become. It seemed they were very close to her now. Fire Spirit screamed, "Ah, it's changing again." Water started to appear at Momo's feet, and within a minute, it had swelled into a tsunami. Fire Spirit panicked and yelled, "Water is the worst." All three of them were swept away by the current, with Da Zhuang screaming loudly. He nearly went over the edge, but at the last second, he grabbed a branch on the cliff. Our hero breathed a sigh of relief. That was close. I'm saved. He scrambled onto the ledge, promising that if he got out of this alive, he would become a much better person from now on. Mat was right there behind him, but when Dai Trang reached the top, his eyes went wide at the sight before him. What is this? And why is there someone still inside? A girl lay sleeping inside a strange red orb. He didn't recognize her as Elle. He reached out to say hello, but the instant his fingers touched the sphere, the world around them warped. The ground suddenly collapsed beneath him, and Dai Trang's leg got pinned by the rocks. Someone grabbed his shirt, shouting, "Don't move!" He turned, surprised to see Mat. She was dead serious. I don't know what personality or story you're currently role-playing, but if you want to live, you need to listen to me. After pulling him up to safety, Mat finally started to explain. It's called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. For the patient, things in their vision will suddenly get bigger or smaller. It can cause blurry vision and a warped perception of both space and time. This was the first Dai Trang had ever heard the name Alice. The more she explained, the more confused he got. Mat cut right to the point. This is Elle's power. Understand now? When her ability activates, it distorts the space around her to a certain degree, which in turn caused their current space to become distorted. Dai Trang trembled. Isn't this the power of the Dream 3000 clan? They could freely swap between spaces, using the environmental changes to hide their true identities. But Dai Trang remembered that their power attracted all the wrong kinds of attention, which led to their entire clan being wiped out. Only a single young princess, protected by a loyalist, escaped. Could that be her? Mat just chuckled. The plot you've arranged is pretty unique. She immediately changed the subject, giving Dai Trang a new mission: rescue the girl from this place. Tears welled up in his eyes as he waved his hands. Why me? There's no way I can do it. Mat explained that the last time Elle's power went off, no one could get near her. She eventually had to wake up on her own, but that ordeal caused her immense trauma, and he was the only one who could get close to her without triggering a massive rejection. So, the mission to rescue Elle is yours now. He held his head, crying, but I really can't do it. Her eyes turned terrifying. Oh, really? I heard that Mole is a huge coward who loves refusing missions from the sect. The more I think about it, the more he sounds just like you. Her little jab landed perfectly. Dai Trang cast his weakness aside and accepted with confidence. Senior sister, do not worry. This is a mission I cannot refuse. His determined expression was actually pretty cute. Mat smiled in approval. Very good. I will provide you with all the necessary support. Dai Trang stepped closer to Elle, his mind racing. My cover as a mole is safe, but what am I supposed to do now? Calm down, I can do this. After all, he'd been a mole in this righteous sect for years and was never even suspected. There was no challenge he couldn't overcome. He bowed slightly and said, I am an unremarkable disciple of the sweeping sect. The red sphere suddenly flashed, and a terrifying wave of power blasted all three of them backwards. Ah, what's happening? Dai Trang yelled. He then saw Elle's rabbit morph into a giant. The rabbit leaned down and said, Hee, let's play. Mat explained from behind. I fear this is Elle's materialization ability. The rabbit then grabbed the boy, tossing him around. It just wanted to play, but one wrong move could easily kill him. Mat yelled, Dai Trang, you must wake Elle up. It's the only way to deactivate her power. Dai Trang leaped onto the rabbit's hand, then froze, realizing he didn't know its name. He had to turn back to ask Mat. The giant rabbit grumbled, "Little human, running around isn't fun." He calmed himself down. "Calm down. This thing and I are both moles. First, win its heart, then win the fight." Elle was still asleep in the red sphere, now sealed shut. Dai Trang tried yelling, "You like rabbits, right?" "Actually, I used to have a rabbit." The giant paw froze in midair, just inches away from him. He was still trembling, but luckily, the rabbit had returned to normal. Its eyes were no longer filled with rage. His move worked. Dai Trang's heart was about to burst, but he pressed on with the mission. He spoke to the giant rabbit again. That rabbit was small but very cute. Its whole body was pure white, and it was extremely well behaved. I named it Little Dumpling. It was really obedient. The rabbit sat down, gently placing him on the ground. Elle started to stir in her sleep. Her eyes were still shut, but she whispered the name, Little Dumpling. Mat was practically vibrating. "That's it, Dai Trang. Quick, keep talking." "Then what happened?" The boy continued cheerfully. "After I fattened it up, I took it to be grilled. And let me tell you, grilled rabbit is seriously delicious." Mat froze solid. "Delicious? Wait, you raised the rabbit just to eat it?" She seemed to realize what was about to happen. Dai Trang, however, was clueless. "The place I live is an evil sect after all." He suggested keeping them as spirit pets, but that innocence only triggered disaster. The giant rabbit got enraged and sent Da Zhuang flying. It unleashed a devastating palm strike, so powerful it could crush anyone. Then, as he fell, it snatched him right out of the air. It glared at him with pure killing intent and roared, "Bad people, you are all bad people." The rabbit slammed him around, torturing Da Zhuang relentlessly. He begged, "Stop, don't hit me. If you don't like that story, I'll tell another." But the rabbit wasn't listening. It threw him away without a second thought, screaming, "You will all be punished." Momo used her powers to catch Da Zhuang, but the force still sent her skidding back several meters. Seeing the situation was out of control, Momo warned Da Zhuang, "This isn't working. Its senses are linked with L's. You can't provoke it." But when she turned back, he was gone. He'd already dashed towards the giant sphere. Momo screamed in horror, "Li Da Zhuang, why did you run over there?" He just looked completely lost. "Don't we need to wake Elle up?" That's why he ran. But the rabbit only got angrier. "I hate you. I'll kill you all. I must avenge Xiao Tuanzi." Da Zhuang took a moment to think, where did this come from? Using this move would expose his identity as an undercover agent. But this was urgent, and saving lives was more important. He couldn't worry about that now. He'd just have to make up an excuse later. Da Zhuang touched his glasses. He activated his special glasses, using their analysis function. Red text, previously hidden, appeared inside the sphere. It looked like a secret demonic scripture. He focused, trying to see into Elle's mind, and saw she'd also raised a pet rabbit. Coincidentally, its name was also Xiao Tuanzi. But one day, bad people captured it, and slaughtered the poor creature in the most brutal way. It was a shock. Elle could never forget a memory that was like her own personal hell. They tied her up and used a powerful electric current to try and force out her abilities. Her agonizing screams echoed in Da Zhuang's mind. He touched the sphere, his gaze softening with empathy. So she was like him. She'd also had a rabbit friend, named Xiao Tuanzi. Outside, Momo was fighting the giant rabbit all alone, buying time for Da Zhuang to wake Elle up. The rabbit's attacks grew more and more ferocious. While dodging, she yelled anxiously, "Li Da Zhuang, hurry up. Elle isn't going to wake up." But Da Zhuang kept speaking to her patiently. "You know, you and I were a lot alike when we were kids. No one cared about us, no one asked about us. I didn't even know who I was or where I came from. The sect master said I was abandoned at the gates of the demon sect, left to fend for myself. Growing up there, I had a rabbit. His name was also Xiao Tuanzi. He was my only friend in the entire sect. But the sect master said a demon must be ruthless. He forced me to kill Xiao Tuanzi, so I did. They even tried to make me eat him. But I still built a small grave for my friend." "Huh. I guess that makes me something of a hypocrite." Elle's body began to tremble. Outside, the rabbit's rampage intensified. The fire spirit cried out worriedly, "Sister, it's going crazy. We have to go save Li Da Zhuang." But Li Da Zhuang was still inside that thing. They couldn't just rush in. Momo saw him clinging to the sphere's frame. He was still pouring his heart out to Elle. "The sect sent me here as a spy. Honestly, I think they just saw me as useless. They were probably hoping my cover would be blown, and the righteous sect would kill me." Too bad it didn't go their way. I've stayed hidden really well. I was even planning on switching sides for good. Even the darkest clouds eventually break for the sun. If someone like me can find a way out, then so can you. I get it. You've always been so lonely and scared, haven't you? That's why you cling to these toys so tightly. I used to do the same. Da Zhuang's story finally broke through to her. As Elle's eyes fluttered open, Da Zhuang held out his hand to her and said, "Come on. Take my hand." The moment their hands touched, the ferocious rabbit instantly vanished. Momo cheered. He did it. Inside the orb, Da Zhuang still held Elle's hand tightly, asking, "From now on, can I be your friend, okay?" Elle recognized Da Zhuang and called out his name. Just then, the sphere disappeared, and they started to freefall. They screamed as they plummeted towards the ground. "Ah! What's happening?" But Momo managed to create a net, saving them both just in time. Elle immediately ran over and gave Momo a huge hug. When Da Zhuang came to, he just looked confused. "Senior sister, what just happened? My head feels completely scrambled." "I don't remember anything." Elle turned back. "Brother Da Zhuang, did you mean it? About being my friend?" Losing his memory, he blurted out, "When did I say that?" Then he paused and corrected himself. "Ah, our sect is one big family, so of course we're family." Elle was deeply touched. But a moment later, she saw Da Zhuang swing his fist right at her. It was a monster, ambushing them from behind. It roared in fury. "Damn you, you dare to mess with me." The monster lunged for Elle. Da Zhuang shoved her back and blocked the attack with his bare hands, its razor-sharp claws pierced right through. The young man's arm sends a body flying without a second thought, and the monster immediately pivots, aiming a blast of water at the two girls. Momo instantly throws up a protective barrier as Elle screams in panic. Da Zhuang, all he can do is let out a few weak coughs, but he forces out the words, "I'm fine," before jumping up to assess the threat. Typically, once the system picks a main character, they're thrown against an impossibly strong enemy. This is how they're supposed to discover new opportunities and level up their skills. But to him, this is just another disaster he's lucky to have survived. With that, he charges straight at the creature. Momo frantically waves her hands, yelling, "Li Da Zhuang, don't do it." The monster just scoffs, calling him a fool as it pierces him with a water jet. This is it. Game over. Blood pours from the wound as Momo and Elle watch in horror. The monster sneers. "You foolish humans talk about surviving disasters, but that only counts if you don't die." It then turns to the girls. Now, to settle the score, the system interface flashes before Da Zhuang's eyes, desperately trying to get a response. "Host, wake up! Come on, wake up!" Host, Hunter version 10 is now updated. Suddenly, our half-dead hero springs back to life, points a finger and yells, "Togashi! You thief! Give me back my youth!" He has no idea there's someone standing right behind him. When he turns around, he jumps. "What the hell? Why are you here? Where am I?" The blonde man casually picks his nose, then coolly replies, "I was just about to ask you the same thing. Host, your grand adventure has just begun, and you're already dead. How is that possible?" Da Zhuang is completely stunned, but he's far more worried about Momo and Elle's safety. He knows they're in grave danger. The system waves a hand dismissively. You should probably worry about yourself. Your heart was fatally wounded. Not even a god could save you." He turns back, feeling like something is off. Usually when the host dies, the system vanishes too. So why is this guy still standing here? The blonde man flashes a smile. "Excellent question. It's because the system prepared a plan B. Even if you die, we can activate a contingency plan and turn things around." Our hero quickly throws an arm around his shoulder, giving him a big thumbs up. Just what I'd expect from such a thorough system. But the man immediately corrects him. Wrong. The host is just so pathetic, the system had to protect itself. Da Zhuang is floored. That's the second shock. After pulling himself together, he says, "Well then, hurry up and give me some ridiculously powerful skills." Without missing a beat, the system presses a button, activating Da Zhuang's backup heart. Once this is active, he can be resurrected back in the real world. Besides, since this enemy was just too strong, our hero stood no chance of fighting back, which is why the system also prepared the indestructible diamond body buff for him, so he can finally crush powerful foes. But Da Zhuang is skeptical. The system being this generous? No need for points or a makeup quest? The avatar simply responds, "That's right." However, after using this bonus reward, the host must accept a special mission and complete it as soon as possible. And there it is. He knew it wouldn't be that easy. Da Zhuang immediately asks, "What kind of special mission?" The man does a little spin and says, "To find the system's golden body." Da Zhuang is completely lost. So the blonde avatar explains, the truth is, this system isn't complete yet. All the host possesses right now is the golden hand. If you manage to retrieve the system's golden body, that is, the rest of its parts, you can activate its true special abilities, granting you a completely indestructible body buff. And get this, there's no time limit. Okay, now the host should go save his friends with this new power, but you better pay attention to the current time limit. With that, he launches Da Zhuang into the air and simply vanishes. His body begins to react. The sound of his heart beating grows louder and louder as the monster continues its relentless assault on the girls. Momo's strength is fading fast. Finally, her barrier shatters. The monster's attack is now aimed directly at them. In that critical life-or-death moment, Da Zhuang miraculously appears, using his own body to absorb the full force of the blow. The monster is completely stunned. What? You're still alive? But Da Zhuang's body now glows like the sun, his aura overwhelming the creature. Is this pathetic display of power all you've got? Because now, it's my turn to attack. The monster just scoffs. You insects are certainly resilient, but this is where your luck runs out. It then hurls a massive chunk of ice at our hero. Da Zhuang stands his ground. He just raises a hand and shatters the ice block with a single, bare-handed strike. The monster is in absolute disbelief. He then shoots forward like an arrow, closing the distance instantly. This indestructible body is already proving incredibly useful. The demon takes a fist right to the face, knocking its jaw sideways. It sucks in a huge breath and unleashes a torrent of green energy at Da Zhuang. He catches the blast with both hands, skillfully gathers the energy, and then sends it flying right back at the monster. But the attack has no effect on it, so our hero switches tactics, deciding to beat it to death with his golden physique. A system warning flashes. Host, please be mindful of the time. His all-powerful buff has only 30 seconds left. He cracks his knuckles. 30 seconds is more than enough time for him to finish this. The monster roars, vowing to tear him to pieces. It swings its right arm, but Da Zhuang is quick, ducking under the blow with ease. He uses the opening to land a powerful punch on the monster's waist, shouting, "This one's for all your evil deeds." Then, he leaps high into the air. He strikes from above, right on the monster's head. "This one's for harming my sect," he declares, landing with perfect agility. Then he ducks low for an uppercut. "And this one? This one's just because I felt like it." The blow nearly shatters the beast's jaw, sending blood flying. The monster can't believe it, this guy is back, and he's way stronger than before. His full-body buff has 10 seconds left on the clock. 10, 9, 8. For the final move, Da Zhuang decides to use an ancient Zhaoba sect fist technique to end this. His fists fly like a hurricane, and the monster is absolutely terrified. The overwhelming pressure is just too much to handle. It turns tail and tries to run. But he unleashes the Zhaoba Na Yu Bufeng fist, a single, decisive strike that punctures the monster's body. Its face twists in its final moments. Even in death, it can't understand. How could this puny human do this? How? With 3 seconds to spare, the monster is obliterated, melting into a black puddle on the ground. And just like that, the buff ends. The system pops up, thanking the host for the experience. Next up, reward calculation. A notification appears. "Congratulations, host, for defeating an enemy 10 times your strength." A blonde guy materializes, excitedly announcing the rewards: 12 feedback pills and 12 marrow, cleansing fists. Our hero inspects his loot, asking what they do. The system's avatar just shoves a pill straight into his mouth before even starting to explain. The host was seriously injured, it says. Without this, your body wouldn't have been able to take the strain. Seeing Da Zhuang happily chewing on what looks like a dirt clod, L shoots a worried glance at Momo. But Momo just shrugs. Don't ask, he's got his own rhythm. After his snack, he asks the system, "That full-body buff was great. Can I get another trial later?" The answer is yes, of course. On one condition. The host has to complete a hidden quest as soon as possible. Alright, the system continues. Congratulations to the host for completing the main quest and the side quest. The system will now take its leave. With that, he vanishes. Da Zhuang is left hanging. Hey, what about the gold coins and treasure? Momo suddenly remembers something. She leans over to Elle and whispers, "That's right, Elle, weren't you with Wan Mao? Where is he?" Elle blinks, then recounts what happened. After we fell into this underground palace, we were attacked by monsters. My powers suddenly activated, and then I just passed out. I have no idea where Wan Mao went. He's going to be okay, right? Just then, our main character strolls up, catching the end of it. There's a good chance he's already dead. Elle nearly faints. Seeing this, Momo smacks the idiot hard, telling him not to say such scary things. Da Zhuang rubs the huge new lump on his head. Senior sister, don't be mad. Don't be mad. I was just trying to lighten the mood a little. Suddenly, a loud voice echoes from up ahead. Don't you dare come over here. Da Zhuang recognizes Wan Mao's voice instantly and tells everyone to head that way. Looks like another big fight is about to go down. Momo asks Da Zhuang if he can handle it. He answers without a moment's hesitation. Don't worry, senior sister. I, Li Da Zhuang, have walked through the gates of hell and back. I'm a completely different person now, ready for anything. No matter what demon it is, I can take it. A moment later, he slams on the brakes. Seeing Momo and Elle trembling, a fire spirit asks, "What's wrong?" Then she promptly smacks Da Zhuang across the face. Kid, this old ancestor suggests you take back those words. Right now, looming above them is a hideous monster with deer antlers. Da Zhuang freezes. Oh, my God. As Da Zhuang rushes forward, Momo grabs his shirt. You just finished a huge fight. Let me handle this one. You stay here and watch Elle. He turns back, his voice buzzing with excitement. Senior sister, did you see it? That's a Baizi, the mythical beast that knows the past and future. Let's capture it and make it our mount. We'd look so cool. Momo is just stunned to hear him talking about mythical beasts and mounts. But something feels off. Wasn't he just terrified? Why the sudden obsession? The monster's long tongue flicks out. So, a human still remembers me. How interesting. Wan Mao, trapped tightly in its coils, waves frantically for help. Now is not the time for a history lesson. I mean, could you maybe save me first? Without a word, Da Zhuang steps toward the monster. He unleashes his special move, the Zhao Ba Na Neng Bu Fa Huo fire control technique, declaring, I've decided. You're going to be my new mount. Attacked by the flames, the monster's eye begins to glow. In an instant, Elle and Momo are frozen solid, unable to move. Mo is horrified. What's happening? A single glare paralyzed me. Only Da Zhuang remains completely unaffected by its power. He keeps advancing, ready to capture the beast. The monster seems surprised too. My suppression doesn't work on you. Our hero bends his knees, preparing to launch a devastatingly powerful Zhao Ba flying kick. But the monster waits for him to get closer before its third eye snaps open, shooting out a green goo that traps him in place. It studies Da Zhuang carefully. Have humans really evolved this much? You're the first one I've met who can resist my control. You have truly opened my eyes. Since that's the case, I'll just refine all of you into my personal demon pets. His mount is down. The main character is pinned by some sort of green substance, completely immobilized, like he's been encased in concrete. He tries to struggle, but it's completely useless. The monster opens its massive jaws, firing a blast of green energy to finish him off. But just as it attacks, it gets blindsided by a surprise hit. Da Zhuang and Wan Mao come crashing down, as our hero desperately calls the system for help. The monster roars, Where did this shameless punk come from, daring to sneak attack me? Then, a pair of piercing bright eyes appears in the darkness. That voice echoes from a cellar door just ahead of them. Tesk, and I thought it was something serious. Turns out it's just a dog. Another monster emerges, looking just as aggressive. The enraged antelope beast fumes. How insolent. Let him taste a blast of light. But the four-whiskered monster remains calm, barely giving its opponent a second glance before blocking the attack with its bare hands. The other monster seethes. A tiny foreign insect dares to insult me. My con squad has always been invincible, yet now they face repeated defeats. This general is quite curious indeed. Just what kind of order keeper could be this powerful? Seeing it target Mamat and Elle, Da Zhuang decides to use a taunt. You're that ugly evil monster I just beat down, right? The creature just glares back at him, a clear threat in its eyes. A pity. You're only at this level. You really disappoint me. Its aura is completely overwhelming. Wan Mao quickly drops to the ground to dodge the immense pressure. This intruder is so brazen, acting like he owns the place. The antelope monster roars in fury. This is my territory. If you want to fight, you have to ask me first. The monster whips its tail, sending both of them flying forward. Da Zhuang sees how strong this beast is, making him even more determined to win. Suddenly, an idea sparks in his mind. If both of those guys are this powerful, then maybe he could. Heh. The young man jumps to his feet and starts instigating. Hey, Baizi, he just called you a dog. Are you really going to take that? He then moves on to the four-whiskered monster. And you pathetic demon. You couldn't even handle my mount. And you think you can fight me? Go home and train some more. The monster completely loses it, screaming, Shut up. Our hero just smirks. Oh, please. The two of you. One calls himself the divine beast, Bai Zi, and the other claims to be invincible. Sounds like a whole lot of empty talk. Otherwise, why can't you even beat a dog and a foreign insect? The four-whiskered monster gets even more furious at his rambling. Pure rage boils over as it lets out a thunderous roar. You noisy little worm! A red aura explodes as the monster unleashes its dreadful manifestation. But Bai Zi refuses to be outdone by its rival. It counters with its heaven and earth dharma technique, bellowing in a rage. Insolent! Who gave you the nerve to act so arrogantly in my territory? And just like that, the two beasts charge forward, slamming, biting, and tearing into each other in a chaotic brawl. From the sidelines, Da Zhuang cheers them on. Fight! Fight to the death! The main character smiles. This is perfect. Let them both wear each other down, and we can swoop in for the prize. The two beasts are tangled in a frenzy, trading massive blows, but the four-whiskered monster's red aura is strange. It's not just attacking Bai Zi, it's also surrounding Mamat and the others. Our hero raises a fist, shouting, "You demons won't get near me!" He throws a punch at the spirits, but they simply split apart. The aura quickly swirls around the young man. Mamat screams out in a panic, "Be careful!" as the red mist rushes toward them. Then it seeps into El and Wan Mao's bodies. Da Zhuang turns around, but it's too late. It's over. That monstrous thing is getting inside them. Wan Mao morphs into a werewolf, constantly pleading, "Don't come over here, stay away." El is also fighting back with all her might. "Don't you guys come near us, stay away." But they can't stop it. Fire Ghost is so panicked he grabs Da Zhuang by the collar in frustration. "This is all your fault. I told you that thing was demonic, and now it's too late. They've both been hit." Mamat runs over, her voice urgent. "Li Da Zhuang, can you summon your other personality to wake them up?" She wants to awaken El's insider personality. Meanwhile, Bai Zi sees the two are mind-controlled by the dreadful manifestation and spots an opportunity. It seizes the chance to turn them into its puppets. "My puppets," it commands, "obey me now." Wan Mao and El rise to their feet like marionettes, then immediately target the four-whiskered monster. Their combined power is terrifying. Da Zhuang can only exclaim, "Whoa, senior sister, look how strong they are." Mamat fumes and yells, "This is wrong. They're being controlled by Bai Zi. We have to save them." The battle grows more intense, the air crackling with constant explosions. Suddenly, a strange two-horned being appears, offering a warning. That monster is General Kone. If you don't find a way to defeat it, you're in big trouble. Our main character is totally stunned, having no idea what this thing is. It can talk. Mamat is just as curious, asking, "What is this?" Da Zhuang hesitantly asks. "System, is that you? Why do you look like this?" The creature scowls in response. "Forget the system. All of you, listen to me. The being you're facing is the true, ancient divine beast, Bai Zi, but it has been corrupted by evil energy, twisting it into a demon. When humans are controlled by fear, Bai Zi can bring. Demonic energy pours into their minds. Controlling them, your comrades have been hit by General Khan's special skill. This lets Bai Zi turn them into helpless puppets, but if General Khan and Bai Zi are defeated, your friends will be saved. Now listen closely. General Khan's signature ability is called Dreadful Reappearance. It summons the host's most terrifying memory, replaying it over and over, pushing them until they break and die from the torment. Once you're hit, there's no turning back, so you absolutely must be careful. Our hero takes a deep breath, steeling himself for what's next. After all, his senior brother and sister are only in danger because of him. That's why Da Zhuang has to be the one to deal with General Khan. Momo nods in agreement, saying, "We're counting on you." His special status means General Khan's mental attacks will have absolutely no effect on him. Da Zhuang readies himself, a little hyped for his first real boss fight, and asks Momo to help coordinate the attack. Momo agrees instantly. "Alright, just follow my lead." The two count down in unison 3, 2, 1. With Momo providing cover, Da Zhuang flies in, delivering a direct kick to Khan, who tries to use his ultimate, but our hero just shouts, "Reappear this!" And with that, he slams the monster with a 1-2 combo to the face. Bai Zi materializes right behind them, three eyes glowing, preparing a sneak attack. Momo screams out, "Li Da Zhuang, be careful." The beast fires a demonic blast straight at Fire Ghost. It looks like it's over, but the young man dodges left, launching his own demonic energy at General Khan, tearing a huge hole right through its body. Khan lets out a guttural roar from the wound, then uses its hands to heal the damage. Bai Zi scoffs that evil spirit is tougher than he looks. Da Zhuang backs away, confused. "Hold on, weren't you just about to attack me from behind?" Bai Zi's eyes flash with annoyance. Are you an idiot? We're both enemies of that otherworldly demon. Obviously we have to team up to fight it. Momo signals to Bai Zi, pointing at the young man with a knowing look. He really is. What a psycho. Da Zhuang confidently turns back, saying, Hey, with my pet demon's help, we'll make this ghoul surrender easy. Bai Zi shoots him a sideways glare, looking like he wants to eat him alive. His inner thought? You arrogant little brat. Just wait until you've completely drained his energy, then I'll finish you all off in one clean sweep. Kon sees the new team-up and attacks. Da Zhuang raises a hand to block and counter. The system glances at Fire Ghost and speaks. Your soul fire is too weak. You can't possibly inflict any real damage on General Kon. Fire Ghost pinches it, annoyed. I am not weak. The creature suddenly grabs her, saying, Here, let me lend you some energy for now. Fire Ghost is caught completely off guard, her hands flailing wildly as the thing envelops her, causing her soul fire to erupt in a blinding light. She transforms into a ripped, six-packed warrior, her voice dropping. Sister, I suddenly feel like I'm overflowing with energy. Her face is so distorted Momo freezes, barely recognizing her. She wonders, what in the world was that white light? Its origins are a mystery. Why would it help them? Could it really be the system that Li Da Zhuang mentioned? Just then, our hero is sent flying by General Kon. Momo sees she has no other choice in this situation. They have to defeat the general first. The girl teams up with Fire Ghost to attack. Bai Zi's attention is drawn to the soul fire, its energy feeling strangely familiar. Fire Ghost flies circles around Kon, trapping him in a whirlwind of fire. The monster is completely surrounded, unable to resist. Kon is trapped inside a fireball, ready to blow. Boom! The explosion sends Da Zhuang and Momo flying backward. They have to grab onto Bai Zi's tentacles to avoid being blown away. The girl can't believe her sister has such terrifying power. They thought Kon was vaporized, but the blast wasn't enough to kill him. He screams with demonic rage. You damn insects! The demonic energy shoots straight for Momo. Da Zhuang screams, Senior sister, look out! He immediately leaps forward, shoving her out of the way and taking the full force of the attack. The evil energy seeps into his body as he spits out black blood. The young man stumbles like a drunk, causing Momo to panic. She rushes to support him, asking, Li Da Zhuang, are you okay? Kon growls, annoyed. To think that last attack could actually hurt me this badly. I suppose you have some skill. He grabs Fire Ghost, squeezing her tight. She struggles and screams, Let me go, you ugly monster. Let me go. Kon holds the soul spirit in his hand, intending to use her own powerful fire to personally send them all to their doom. Our hero recovers, asking, Didn't you already use your strongest skill? Seeing Da Zhuang is okay, Momo is incredibly relieved. He smirks, getting cocky. I already figured this guy would get desperate. So when he blew me away, I quickly asked the system for a rebound shield. That item can absorb any physical attack and then reflect it back at double the original power. Momo finally gets it. He wasn't being reckless taking that hit for her, it was all a calculated move. Da Zhuang flicks his nose and says, That's right, it was all part of my plan. Senior sister, watch closely, I'm about to return his energy. With his attack landed, Da Zhuang suddenly felt the world spin, as his vision went completely black. Kon's horror reenactment had struck. The young man swayed back and forth like a puppet on strings. Kon then revealed it wasn't soul fire he used, but his special technique. I was originally going to use horror reenactment to torture that little girl to death, but I never expected an idiot like you to walk right into it. He then unleashed his demonic aura. Now, this was a real ghost flame attack. At the same time, Bai Zi yelled, Rise, my puppets! Momo desperately tried to shake Da Zhuang awake. She thought he was immune to the mental attack, but she couldn't have been more wrong. The young man's eyes opened again to pitch-black darkness. Where? Where is this place? How did I get here? He scanned his surroundings, seeing only a single red sun above a desolate wasteland, littered with the bodies of innocent people. Over in the distance, a boy around 15 years old was relentlessly smashing a rock into a person lying on the ground. He just kept repeating one word. Kill, kill, kill. Da Zhuang immediately yelled, Hey kid, you can't kill people. The victim below reached out a hand, gasping, Monster, monster. After finishing his work, the killer stood up and said, Forget it. Forget it all. But when Da Zhuang saw his face, he froze in place. That kid was him. Those words echoed endlessly in his mind. Forget it. Forget everything. The space warped as another voice spoke. You only need to offer everything to me, including yourself. Kon's assault was relentless, leaving Momo to fend for herself, trying to fight off the monster. all while she still had to support Da Zhuang's body. With everything crashing down at once, how was she supposed to wake Li Da Zhuang up? Khan gloated. I always thought that little brat was immune to my horror reenactment technique. Turns out, I was wrong. An elastic shield? Useless. You can't block my ultimate mental attack, you can only suffer through it. He condensed his demonic energy, then unleashed a blast so quickly that Momo had no time to react. The girl was thrown backward, and Khan immediately snatched Da Zhuang. He was grinning with pure victory as the ghost flame silently slipped away. Khan took a deep sniff and recognized the scent of Lu Daofu, so this was the one who killed him. He furiously tossed the hero into the air and drove a hand straight through Da Zhuang's chest, planning to offer his heart to the evil god. But the substance leaking from the wound wasn't blood, it was a strange, purple liquid. Da Zhuang suddenly smirked. An offering? Are you even worthy? With a flick of his wrist, the purple liquid shot towards Khan as our hero escaped impossibly. Khan's eyes went wide. What? Damn it, how could he possibly escape that? This stuff. It's absorbing my energy. The purple liquid wrapped around the monster, seeping inside its body as Da Zhuang's eyes turned terrifying. The young man burst into laughter. Die! He roared, landing a devastating kick right on the monster. Momo thought she was seeing things. His survival was nothing short of a miracle. The ghost flame whispered. Sister, I think his soul's unstable. Baizi thought to himself, so that brat isn't so simple after all. Good, this is just perfect. Once you've killed him and collapsed from exhaustion, it'll be my turn. Da Zhuang then ripped Khan's arm out of his own body, revealing its rotting flesh. The monster's life force was draining away. It trembled, saying, Is my life force fading away? How is this possible? A mere human can't absorb the life force of an evil god's servant, unless they're the same species and on a much higher level. After completely siphoning Khan's life force, our main character cracked a grin. His voice was ice cold. You can feel it now, can't you? There's more than one scent on me, and they should all feel very familiar to you. Khan was so terrified he began to stutter. Scent? What scent? That's not right. What in the world are you? Da Zhuang shot back. Isn't that the smell of fear you love so much? As for who I am, that's not something a low-level creature like you is allowed to know. He swung his sword just once, and Khan was split in two. The creature's roars were silenced for good. Da Zhuang began laughing like a madman, repeating over and over, Not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. He slammed his sword into the ground, his final declaration absolute. Still not enough. I still want more flesh and blood. An evil energy poured from his blade. Seeing the hero standing all alone, Baizi knew his long-awaited chance had finally come. Now was the time to reclaim the energy he'd distributed, and then finish him off with a single strike. Baizi activated his divine eye and gave the command. Bao Puji Shinkai formation. Wan Mao L. Prepare for my signal. Chains shot out from portals, locking down the hero's arms, legs, and stomach. Momo instantly figured out the scheme. No, Baizi is making his move. I have to stop him. The ghost flame quickly held her back, saying, Sister, don't be rash. Take a closer look at Li Da Zhuang. Baizi roared as his three other heads lunged toward Da Zhuang, but not only did the attack fail, it completely shattered the chains. Seizing the opening, Da Zhuang launched a relentless counterattack with a series of 4 flawless sword strikes. As the young man prepared to land the final blow, he declared, My hunger for flesh and blood will never end. I'll take everything. Give me everything you've got. A blow crashes straight into Baizi's head. The mountainside cracks and the sheer force shakes the very ground. Boulders rain down toward Mama, but suddenly, a strange power stopped them cold. Ellie was awake, holding the debris back with both hands. She yelled out, Sister Mama, I'm using space distortion to protect you. You have to find a way to snap Brother Da Zhuang back to normal. From the other side, Curly added. I'll help buy some time as well. All the heavy thinking fell to her. Mama realized that with Ellie and Curly stalling, she had to come up with a solution, and fast. Li Da Zhuang's constitution was always special. Was this a completely new personality taking over? Or was this some kind of emergency state? Fire Ghost, standing nearby, posed a question. Sister, do you think the terror bugs corroded him so much that his main personality mutated? That's when Mama remembered Fire Ghost is a pure spirit. She's the only one who might actually see what's happening. Can you sense Li Da Zhuang's condition right now? Anything at all? Fire Ghost admitted she wasn't sure, but if his core personality was compromised, they'd have to force his other personalities to surface and fight for control. She decided to try it. Just as the battle between Da Zhuang and Baizi reached its peak, Fire Ghost dove straight into the action. The main character dodged with lightning speed, then swung his sword to cut her down. But Curly managed to grab him from behind. He used his Mighty Man Lock technique to pin both his arms and legs. The Wolfman shouted, "I've got him! Hurry up!" Fire Ghost took the chance to land a punch on his nose. When he still didn't wake up, she dove straight into his mind. Inside Li Da Zhuang's subconscious, the hero was on his knees, begging for forgiveness before a gleaming golden statue of the clan ancestor. The statue's voice boomed with fury. "Li Da Zhuang, you dare act so disgracefully, murdering your comrades, unable to tell friend from foe. You spit on the righteous path. You traitor, are you about to fall and become a demon?" Trembling, the young man stared at his blood-soaked hands. "Become a demon?" he whispered. Seeing her words were having an effect, Fire Ghost pressed the attack. "The sect wasted everything nurturing you. The ancestor is deeply disappointed. Li Da Zhuang, look closely. The real evil you must fight is right in front of you now. You must hate and destroy that evil to bring peace back to the world." As Fire Ghost spoke, she pointed straight toward Baize. The monster roared, spewing demonic energy as it declared war. And in that instant, something clicked. Da Zhuang finally understood. He grabbed one of Baize's tentacles, his voice steady. "That's right. As long as this world isn't at peace, a righteous cultivator's duty is to slay demons." A true hero had returned. A brilliant light descended as his overwhelming aura exploded outward, shaking the entire area to its core. And that's where our video ends for today. That was a summary of the first major arc of the series. If you have any thoughts, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on more awesome videos. For now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.